Hello and welcome to Leiden Field on the campus of St. John's Jesuit High School for Week 1 of the OHSAA playoffs. Tonight's Round 1 matchup in Division II, Region 7 will see the visiting Westerville South Wildcats take on the St. John's Jesuit Titans. The Wildcats come from the Ohio Capital Conference Buckeye Division and enter with a 6-4 record, while the Titans come out of the track with a 7-3 record. I'm Isaiah Kiefer, here with my partner for tonight's game, state champion Scoop Miller. So Scoop, what are the keys for St. John's tonight to win this game?
Well, I think it's going to be important for St. John's. They really have to tackle, limit those yards after contact. I think that's going to be a big thing. I also think special teams will come into play. They have to win that field position battle, and there you see a squib kick to start things out.
All right, so it's going to be picked up by the up back. He'll get it across the 35 and over the 40, and St. John's will have good field position to start here tonight.
Oh, tremendous job there by St. John's special teams. And as we talked about, Isaiah, I think that's going to be a huge stat tonight. Right now they're looking at a fairly short field, starting at their own 42-yard line. But they want to really try to establish things early here with that high-powered offense that comes into this evening, averaging over 32 points in contest.
Yeah, and talking to Coach McDaniel before the game tonight, he talked about the importance of starting quick offensively. And so that's what they're going to try to do here. So Lichtenberg will be back, has Valentine off to his left here in the shotgun. Gets the snap, and he's going to look and gets it right away out to Mitsopoulos, who's going to get out past the 50, out to about the 48-yard line. So Dimitri Mitsopoulos gets it off to a good start here for St. John's. It'll bring up second down and short.
Well, that's just how you draw it up. If you're a tight fan there, Mitsopoulos is able to get that quick slant, and then he breaks a tackle. And anytime you get a first down on your first play from scrimmage, you're going to take that. It's just enough that moves the ball into Wildcat territory here to start things out.
All right, so Lichtenberg back in the shotgun again. He's got 4 receivers, 2 to each side. Gets the snap, looking. And he's going to get hit, and he's going to get swarmed under. A great play there by the defense for Westerville. Tackle by Alfred, their outside linebacker, and that'll bring up second down and long here for St. John's.
Yeah, great penetration from that defensive line of the Wildcats. And what I like there, St. John's sent a couple guys on vertical routes, but the speed in that backside of that defense for Westerville South, they were able to stay stride for stride with the tight receivers and allowed the pressure to get to Lichtenberg.
All right, so Lichtenberg in the shotgun again, has Valentine to his right. 4 receivers. Looking. He's going to flush out of the pocket to the right, and he's going to try to get it deep to Zyrus. It'll land at his feet, and that'll bring up third down and long here for St. John's.
Yeah, once again, tremendous coverage by the secondary of Westerville South. That time Lichtenberg had plenty of time to throw, but really just no open receivers. He tried to hook up on the right sideline there. Again, just well defended. Brings up a big third down here as the Titans are looking at about 3rd and 18 from their own 45-yard line.
And Coach McDaniel talked all week about the athletes here at Westerville South. They may have come in with a 6-4 record, but they're in one of the toughest conferences in the state of Ohio. Empty formation here for Lichtenberg. Got 3 to his left. He's going to have to throw quick. He's looking for Mitsopoulos. And the defensive back fell down, but he just barely threw it out of the reach of Mitsopoulos. He had him wide open, and that'll bring up 4th down here for St. John's.
Well, that's a tough break there for St. John's. As you mentioned, Isaiah, the secondary coverage man slipped, and he was all alone running stride for stride, but the ball just overthrown just enough. And they can't haul it in. That's a big stop for that Westerville South defense as they're going to force the Titans to punt it away.
All right, so Caden Saunders back here for Westerville South. We'll get to him more in a minute. St. John's, good snap, gets the punt off, and that'll land at about the 35 and take a Westerville South bounce. And they'll take over there, so decent punt there for Blaze Witten to start it off for St. John's.
Yeah, that was an excellent punt. You consider the pressure he had. You certainly don't want to kick it deep to Caden Saunders back there for Westerville South. He's one of those electric athletes back then. He's been recruited by several D1 schools. You don't want to give him open space in the football. And that time he did a nice job of sort of getting it to the sideline, not allowing a return.
And so Westerville South will take over on offense here. They're led by Braden White at quarterback. So Westerville South is going to run the ball a lot tonight with White here at quarterback. Gets the snap, and the give is to their stud running back, Mansoray, and he'll get out to about the 38-yard line. So their quarterback for Westerville South got hurt about halfway through the year, and then they've had Braden White take over, and they've run the ball a lot more as a result.
Yeah, and that's a name you're going to hear called a lot tonight, Michael Mansoray. He had 98 yards last week in their tough loss to Olentangy Orange, a game they led 17-14 in the second half before Orange really finished on a nice run.
So Mansoray swarmed under. Great tackle there. A couple of guys waiting for him. That was Batch on the tackle, and so that'll bring up a third down here and a great stop for St. John's.
Well, that's big because probably the biggest stat tonight, I think, Isaiah, is can St. John's stop that running attack of Westerville South? That's going to be so crucial. They want to force these guys to put the ball up in the airways. But right now they're looking at a 3rd and 6 here to start things out. St. John's looking for that 3 and out.
So Westerville South with trips to the right side. White's looking. It's going to be a screen pass, and he's going to try to get the ball to Mansoray. Falls incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. So a good defensive stand there from St. John's to get the ball back.
Well, that's huge, That's been the one Achilles heel, I think, for St. John's this year. They come in tonight giving up over 25 points a contest. Usually playoff teams are going to have that defense, down around 10 points a game. But, that time they come up big. They get to 3 and out on their initial defense possession. Going to force a punt here by the Wildcats.
All right, so back for St. John's is Mitsopoulos. That's a low line drive kick, and it's fielded right there. Great job of fielding the ball there. That was Carson Toth, and that saved them a lot of yardage.
That's a big play by Carson Toth. He lets that ball roll. That's going to go another 20 yards. The fact that he's able just to catch it off the bounce, really gives them decent field position once again. They'll start out at their own 35-yard line here on their second possession of this first quarter.
So St. John's again had a first down with their first play, and then the drive stalled from there after the sack. So we'll see what they can get generated here. Trips to the left side, single receiver to the right. Lichtenberg in the shotgun has Valentine to his left. Excuse me, that's Toth, and the give is to Toth off the right side. There's nothing doing there. He's tackled in the backfield. Otang Achimfor on the tackle there for Westerville South, and that'll bring up 2nd down and long here for St. John's.
Yeah, it's a great tackle there by Achimfor as he's able to wrap up, not allowing those yards after contact. That's big. It looks like Westerville South came out in the 4-3 that time. And, really we talked about the speed of their secondary a lot in that first series. Right there you saw some solid play there from the line, especially on that defensive end side.
So empty formation here for St. John's. Lichtenberg gets the snap. He's going to get it out right away, and that's to Zyrus. Zyrus will get it out to about the 39-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down at about 5 here for St. John's.
Well, that's a matchup that St. John's wants to get going tonight. Lichtenberg to Thomas Zyrus. And, Zyrus, he's got that big play capability. That time he's able to pick up a good 5 or 6 yards. That's going to bring up a crucial 3rd down here as they're looking at 3rd and long from their own 39-yard line.
So Lichtenberg in the shotgun. Toth off to his left, and they're going to make it an empty formation. Lichtenberg waiting for the snap. Gets it. He's looking. He's going to dump it off quick, and it's to Toth, and he's going to be out past the 50, out past the 45 to about the 43-yard line. So 1st down there for St. John's, and I'm a little surprised they didn't blow that play dead because the whole right side of the line moved.
Yeah, it would look like everybody was offside except the center. That snap took a while to get there, but what a play there by Toth as he's able to make a juggling circus-type catch, but that's enough to move the chains. Big 3rd down conversion there for the Titans.
So they're going to start out trips to the right side here. Lichtenberg in the shotgun, Toth to his left. Gets the snap. Looking. He's going to loft it up, and he's going to try to get it out to Zyrus. He's got him, and it's caught inside the 5-yard line. So a great throw and catch, getting pressure and getting hit by Lichtenberg, completes it to Zyrus, and they'll have first down and goal for St. John's.
Yeah, what a pitch and catch. Tremendous effort there by Zyrus to haul that thing in. And again, that's a play we saw earlier where the defender fell down. They couldn't quite connect that time, and they're able to hook up. That takes the ball inside the 10-yard line. The Titans looking at first and goal.
And that's a great job of using Zyrus' height to his advantage. The snap goes to Lichtenberg, gives it to Toth, and he's going to get stopped right there. It'll be second down and goal here from the 6.
Wow, that's a tough run by Toth. You know, he did all he could just to get a couple yards. That should have been probably a 2-yard loss, but credit Toth, he's able to get that extra yardage. But you look for St. John's to go upstairs here with that stellar Westerville defense that we've been seeing here early.
Lichtenberg in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers to his right and left. He's going to switch Toth over to his right and wait for the snap. Gets it, looking, he's going to get it. Down low to Mitsopoulos, and it's incomplete. It looked like it was a good throw there. Couldn't come up with it, so that'll bring up third down and goal from the 6 here for St. John's.
Yeah, that was a tremendous throw that time by Lichtenberg, but so well defended there by that Wildcat defense. That time they tried the quick slant and threw the ball just across the goal line, but well defended. They get a hand on it. Brings up a big third down here for the Titans.
So Lichtenberg has Toth in the backfield to his left, trips to his right. Gets the snap, looking, and he's going to try the same thing. And they get it across the middle to Ryder, and that's complete for a touchdown. St. John's gets on the board, 6-0.
What a big-time play there by the Titans as Lichtenberg's able to find Zach Ryder on that same play, the quick slant. But again, well executed, well thrown. Great job of catching it in traffic. But what a tremendous showing there by that St. John's offense. They converted multiple third downs on that drive, and they take an early 6-0 lead, looking to tack one more on.
All right, so Chablowski with the extra point, and that's good. That'll make it 7-0. St. John's takes the early lead over Westerville South. And so, Scoop, what did you see on that drive that was different from the first drive for St. John's?
Well, I like how, they only went empty backfield, one time, and I think that's going to be important. They're having a hard time really picking up the rush with that empty backfield. So I think they elected to leave one back home to give Lichtenberg a little bit more time. I like how they're trying to get the ball to their athletes. It's no secret. They've got multiple weapons there at the wideout position, and right now Lichtenberg doing a great job of sort of spreading the wealth. You really can't key on one guy. But I like how they're starting to get rid of the football a little bit quicker. I think early on that first drive, some of those routes were taking too long to develop. Now they're trying to get the ball out to their athletes, let them make plays. It results in a touchdown for St. John's. And now that defense is going to be called to task once again here.
So Jablonski back to kick. Saunders back for Westerville South. They're high recruit. He's only a sophomore, but he's getting a lot of big time looks, and he's had 2 return touchdowns this year. So you'd imagine, just like they do, they try to avoid him. And the kick goes right away to Laneza, and he'll get up to about the 45. So good starting field position for Westerville South, but you want to avoid kicking it to a kid that's got 2 return touchdowns at all costs, I would think.
Well, you're right. That's that give and take. They're going to be okay giving up a little bit more field position to keep it out of Saunders' hands because, again, he has that big play capability. Right now St. John's has momentum on their side. Their defense has already forced a quick 3 and out. So right now, give that ball basically to your defense here. Let them do their thing here. Don't get beat with a big special teams play.
And so Coach McDaniel also, you bring up a good point. Coach McDaniel talked about getting an extra guy in the box to stop their run. White drops back to pass, and it's intercepted. And he could return that. There's nobody that's going to stop him. Batch with the interception, pick 6. There is a penalty flag on the field, but Batch with the great interception.
What a play by the senior Gary Batch. He read that like a book there. He was just out there in the flats, and the ball came right to him. There was no stopping him once he caught it. He saw nothing but green grass ahead of him. So we'll see what the flag's about here.
And it's going to be an interesting flag. The location of it was on the return, but there was nobody on either side.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand. But, again, what a play there by the senior. Comes up big at the right time. But, again, credit that St. John's defense. You know, they want to force these guys to put the football up in the airways. That time they get the early pick. You know, that could make this team awfully one-dimensional if they can take that interception and kind of build on it. But what a play there by Batch.
And a great momentum keeper there for St. John's. So we'll see Chablowski again on the extra point. 42-yard interception return for touchdown for Gary Batch.
We're going to have encroachment on the defense, so that'll take it half the distance.
We'll see. It looks like they're going to decline it here. And they're just gonna decline it and kick it from there. That surprises me a little bit that the holder didn't want to get up and move around a little bit, knowing how cold it is.
Well, they did accept it. They're going to move that in, so this is going to be probably the shortest extra point you'll ever see from just inside the 9-yard line.
So from Chablowski, high snap, and they get it put down. A good hold there, and the kick is good. So a great hold there by Brock Toth. And that'll make it 14-0. St. John's with the early lead on Westerville South.
Wow, they put up 14 points, Isaiah, in 14 seconds. So, again, that defense, what can you say? You know, they get a 3-and-out on their first possession defensively, and then they get a pick on the first play of the second possession, and they take it to the house. So a tremendous start for the Titans, but now you want to keep that momentum on your side. You don't want to take the foot off the accelerator right now. You know, you want to limit that big play, so look for possibly another squib-type kick. Keep the ball away from Caden Saunders, the dangerous return man for the Wildcats.
And this is something, too, where you have to find him. So in their big game 2 weeks ago, the upset of Westerville Central, Westerville Central tried to kick it away from Saunders, and so they moved Saunders up, and he still returned it for a touchdown. So he's a kid that you got to find right away to know where to go with it. So it's kicked to one of the upbacks. He'll get it at the 30, out past the 35, and he'll be stopped at about the 37-yard line. So if you're St. John's, you've got to feel good about where you're at. Westerville South has a great run game, has struggled with the passing game ever since their quarterback went out, and now you've got a 14-point lead and tough sledding here running the ball for Westerville South.
Yeah, you know, we thought that was going to be the biggest telltale tonight as we walked around the field before we got a chance to talk to both head coaches was, can St. John stop the run? You know, we've all heard about this Westerville South team, and you mentioned the fact their quarterback went down earlier in the year. Since that time, they've been awfully run-laden. So we'll see how things check out here in the third possession here for the Wildcats.
So White, with an empty formation, he's going to throw right away, and it's incomplete. That was intended for Gordon, but that'll bring up second down and long here for Westerville South. And you can sort of tell they're getting a little uncomfortable. This isn't their wheelhouse.
You're exactly right. This is not their bread and butter. You know, that time they just really weren't on the same page. The outback took a step back to receive the pass where the quarterback was really kind of throwing it right behind the blockers who stepped in. Ends up being an incomplete pass, and one of those passes that really should be a high completion percentage there.
The White in the shotgun that gives to Mansoray up the middle, and he'll get up past the 40 to about the 42-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 7 here for Westerville South, and again a position they don't want to be in.
Oh, that's big. You know, Mansoray comes into this evening with 1,387 yards on the season and just 187 rushes, so he's getting over 7 yards a crack. But to limit him to, 2 or 3 yards there on 2nd and 10, you're going to take that every time. Force that 3rd and long where you really want to try to force those passing situations.
So 2 receivers to each side here for Westerville South. In the shotgun, White gets the snap. He's going to set up a screen again, and it's deflected. They tried to get the ball to Saunders, and a great play there. Smith on the deflection, the big fella. And that'll bring up 4th down here for Westerville South.
Yeah, tremendous play by Smith. I mean, Westerville South had the right call. You know, that time they put 7 guys in the box. They had a couple guys blitzing. But they're able to stop the screen by getting a hand on it, get the deflection. That's huge. That's the second 3 and out here the first quarter. And once again, Westerville South going to have to punt the football away to the Titans.
So Laneza back to punt. Mitsopoulos is back along with Toth for St. John's. It's over the head of Mitsopoulos, and so we see the opposite. So they made a great catch to save themselves about 15 yards on the first punt, and then no catch to cost them about 15 yards on that punt. So they'll start at their own 5-yard line.
Yeah, that's one of those special team plays you like to have back. You know, that's one of those footballs that has to be caught. Now, granted, did not have a lot of hang time, but you have to be able to keep that ball in front of you. And that time they did not catch it. It rolls inside the 10-yard line. They're going down it real close to the 5. So for the first time tonight, St. John's looking at a long field. Big opportunity for that Westerville South defense to see if they can come up big here.
So St. John's will start out in the shotgun. 4-receiver set. Lichtenberg's got Toth to his right. Westerville South going to come with the blitz off the left edge. It looks like there was some movement up front. We'll see who started it.
That's going to be a procedure call against St. John's. That's going to be half the distance to the goal.
So we'll back them up to the 2.5, and St. John's will go from there. So again, Westerville South coming in with a 6-4 record, 2-3 in their conference. They come from the Ohio Capital Conference Buckeye Division. So it's the two other Westerville schools and the Olentangy school. So a real rough conference that they play in. Lichtenberg drops back, and he'll get out. Maybe it looks like he might have lost a yard, and they'll be back at the 2. Second down and about 13 here for St. John's. But getting back to what I was saying before, they have the 4th toughest schedule in Division II, according to Drew Pasteur and his computer numbers. So 4th toughest schedule in Division II. Big win over Westerville Central. It was a big upset that they won in overtime that really catapulted them into the playoffs. The snap goes to Toth up off the left side, and he'll get back to close to the original line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 10 here for St. John's.
Well, you're right, Isaiah. That win over Westerville Central was what catapulted them into the playoffs. 23-20 overtime victory. And, you know, anytime you get a win in that conference, you're going to take it because, like you said, they're juggernauts. You know, basically almost every team for that conference, I think, got in the playoffs. So you have to bring your A game every night, but that should prepare you for games such as this. This St. John's team, this is the 3rd straight year they've made the playoffs.
So Lichtenberg in the shotgun. He's going to get it out to Ryder. He'll get pushed out at about the 15-yard line. He'll be close to a 1st down. We'll see exactly where they spot him, and they're going to give it to him.
Looks like he's going to just get enough. So what a big-time play. That's where you have to know where the chains are at. But, again, what a throw there by Lichtenberg. He's able to hit the big man there in stride on the crossing route. And a huge 3rd down conversion once again here for the Titans.
So trips out to the left here. He's got Toth to his left. Lichtenberg in the shotgun. Calls out the snap count, gets the snap. He's going to get it over to Zyrus at the 20, and he'll get it out past the 20, out to about the 23-yard line. So a good play there. Gets you some nice free yards with the big receiver, and that'll set up 2nd down and short.
Yeah, I love that call. You know, as you mentioned, they had trips to the left side. They had Zyrus all alone as a wide on the right side. And get the ball to your athlete there, let him make a play. You know, he's got one-on-one coverage. You know, he's always just one missed tackle away from taking something to the house. But it's a huge play there on 1st down. It's going to bring up a 2nd in a 1, or maybe a long one we'll call it here.
So there looks like they had to reset the down box here. So we'll get started here. 2nd down and about 2. Lichtenberg gets the snap. He'll get it out to Mitsopoulos. We'll get it up past the 25, and it looks like he'll have a 1st down for St. John's. So a good start to their drive after starting inside their own 5-yard line.
Yeah, tremendous job. Just getting the ball, you know, away from that goal line there where they were backed up there on their own 2-yard line there, looking at a 3rd and long. But now they've got a little breathing room. I like how they're getting rid of the football. They're trying to get to their athletes in space. And I think when you start doing that, you're going to set up that vertical route, which we'll certainly see several times more tonight.
So 1:45 here left in the first quarter. St. John's up 14-0. It's 1st and 10 here for Lichtenberg and the Titans. Lichtenberg gets the snap, fakes. And he's going to go deep to Zyrus. He's got him open, and it hits off the defensive back. Tight coverage there by Armstrong for Westerville South, and it'll bring up 2nd down here for St. John's.
Yeah, what a play there by the sophomore Brandon Armstrong for Westerville South. You know, that time they had the matchup they wanted. They had Zyrus on a 1-on-1 on one of those vertical routes, and the ball was well thrown, but the speedy Armstrong was stride for stride with Zyrus and well defended. That's a play we're going to see, I think, quite a few times tonight, Isaiah, as you have to take advantage of that size, Thomas Zyrus being 6'4". And then you have Armstrong only at 5'8" on the other side and just a sophomore.
Lichtenberg goes back to pass, and he's going to get swarmed under. Great rush there for Westerville South. The sack by Santos, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long here for St. John's, the 2nd sack of the night for Westerville South.
Yeah, once again, that defensive front there for Westerville South starting to flex their muscles a little bit. They're able to really disrupt Lichtenberg there. They take them for a loss there, and that's going to really get them off schedule here. As now they're looking at a 3rd and 16 here, just outside their own 20-yard line.
So Lichtenberg in the shotgun has 3 receivers to his left, single receiver to his right, Toth in the backfield. And they're going to get it to Zyrus, and he's got a lot of green out past the 40 to the 50, out to the 40, and he's going to get tackled at the 30. And so that was an interesting play. It looked like they were trying to set up the hook and ladder, and three defenders go with Toth on the ladder play, and it looked like Zyrus just turned it up and went with it.
Yeah, I think that's something that maybe Westerville South saw on film, and they were expecting that pitch or whatever. It never came. And credit Zyrus, he just took off, and he had a lot of real estate, and he's able to turn that into a big gainer. That takes the ball all the way down to the 30-yard line of the Wildcats.
So Lichtenberg in the shotgun. He's going to send Toth. It'll be an empty formation. Trips to the left here for Lichtenberg. Gets the snap, looking downfield. Flushes out to his right. He's going to try to get it deep to Mitsopoulos. Did he get a foot down? No! It looks like he was just out of bounds. So a great throw and catch there by Mitsopoulos. But it comes up just a little bit outside.
Wow, tremendous effort there. You know, that would have been another big touchdown for the Titans, but just can't quite get his feet down, ran out of real estate, but certainly have to love the effort. You have to love the call. And credit that offensive line there, St. John's. They gave Lichtenberg some time there before he had to get flushed out of the pocket. But once again, he threw a dime there, but just ran out of real estate there.
So 5 seconds left here in the first quarter, and it looks like St. John's was scrambling a little bit, so they'll call a timeout to talk about it. So 2nd down and 10 here with 5 seconds left in the first quarter. St. John's up 14-0.
Yeah, that's a good timeout. Play clock was winding down. They were a little bit unorganized. So, you know, you got things going your way right now. You want to finish the quarter with the bang here and, you know, keep things on your side of the football field. But, again, a well-played first quarter by the Titans. You know, we all knew this was going to probably be a high-scoring game, looking at both teams coming in very similar as far as points a game. I think St. John's came in averaging 32.2 points a game. Westerville South averaging 31 points a game. Then on the defensive side, this is where both teams have struggled. St. John's giving up 25.1 points a game, where Westerville South giving up 24.7 points a game. But both have electric offenses. But right now that defense for St. John's not only has a 0 on the scoreboard for Westerville South, but they also have a pick 6 to their credit. You know, they have half the offense for the Titans tonight as well.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 here. And St. John's is going to shift, and this is something that, you know, Westerville South talked about. If you have receivers singled up for St. John's, it's for a reason. It looks like they're trying to single up Mitsopoulos to the left side. And that's who they're looking for. They're going to get it to him on the slant. He makes a nice catch at the 20, gets out to the 15, breaks a couple of tackles, spins out, and he'll get out down to about the 16-yard line. But that was something that Westerville South, exactly what they talked about. If you see Mitsopolis or Zyrus to themselves, you know it's for a reason.
Yeah, and it's one thing if you know it's coming, another thing stopping it. But what a catch by Mitsopolis that time. That was not an easy ball to catch. That time Lichtenberg, he threw a missile there. The ball was up over his head, but he pulled it in nicely in traffic. Then he has the presence to take off, get a lot of yards after the catch, and that takes the ball into the red zone here as we close out the first quarter.
So that's the end of the first quarter. St. John's 14, Westerville South 0. So if you've just joined us, St. John's gets 2 touchdowns within 14 seconds of each other. They score on a pass, 6-yard pass from Lichtenberg to Ryder, and then a 42-yard pick six for Batch, and that gives us our 14-0 score. So Westerville South, again, a team that was pretty balanced until their quarterback got injured. With their new quarterback, Braden White, have tended to run the ball a little bit more. And if you're St. John's, that's a great thing you've got a 14-point lead. You've got the ball now in the red zone with a first down with a chance to go up 3 scores against a team that doesn't like to throw it.
Yeah, this would be huge. You certainly know Westerville South has the athletes to come back. They've they put up those big numbers we talked about, but right now you really want to try to take the heart out of them. You really want to try to get that blow on them that's going to do more mentally as an advantage than anything else. And getting up 3 scores, that would really put South in a tough spot, one they're not used to being in, that's for sure.
So pistol formation here for St. John's. They've got a tight end trips out here to the right. Single receiver off to the left. Toth behind Lichtenberg. It'll be 1st and 10 here from about the 16-yard line. Lichtenberg gets the snap to give us to Toth. He's going to try the zone right, and he'll gain about a yard and bring up 2nd down and 9 here for St. John's.
Yeah, the one thing about Toth, he runs hard. He gets to the hole in a hurry. But, again, pretty good pressure up front there by that defensive line of Westerville South. Able to hold him to a short gain.
2nd down here. Lichtenberg in the shotgun. Got Toth to his right. Gets the snap, and he fakes the give to Toth, and he's going to get it out to Ryder, out into the flats. He's going to be close to a touchdown. We'll see. And it is touchdown, St. John's, and they take a 20-0 lead. Ryder with his 2nd touchdown reception of the game, this time a 15-yarder to give them a 20-0 lead.
Oh, what a tremendous play call there from St. John's. They're able to, they set up that play up, the one before they ran the zone read. That time they came back, they faked the handoff, and then they had the one-on-one they wanted. Ryder catches it in stride, and he had the angle to that pylon, is able to just get it inside there. But what a conversion there for St. John's. They go up 3 scores.
Jablowski here with the extra point, and it's up and good, so that'll make it 21-0 St. John's over Westerville South. And I got to tell you, Scoop, I'm a little surprised to see this lopsided of a score with a good Westerville South team for St. John's.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expect this coming in. Again, the fact that, these guys have been battle-tested. They have such a competitive conference. They have so many teams in their league that are in the playoffs. But this is the St. John's team that's awfully hungry. These guys have a lot of playoff experience. This is the 3rd straight year for the Titans. But the thing you have to remember about St. John's is they have not won a playoff game since 2010. So that's something that really, I think, is motivating this team right now, driving this team. In fact, their last win in 2010, they won back-to-back games that year in the playoffs against Fremont Ross and Medina. And then they lost a tough one to Whitmer in week 3 of the playoffs by a 14-10 count. But it's been a long time since St. John's has had a victory in the playoffs, and right now they're off to a tremendous start. But once again, keep that foot in the accelerator. This is the Westerville South team that can put points on the board in a hurry.
All right, so again, back to receive for Westerville South is Caden Saunders. and they're going to kick it over on the edge, and it's going to go out of bounds. And again, so they'll start at the 35-yard line, but again, that's preferable to kicking it to Saunders, especially when you've got a 21-0 lead, and that's one way to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, that time, again, they're just trying to pooch it, trying to get it to the corners. But we'll see here. Will they take it at the 35, or are they going to make them re-kick it 5 yards deep?
You know, if you're Westerville South, that gives you an opportunity to get the ball in your athletes' hands, and that's exactly what they're going to do. You know, if let's say you get a kick that doesn't go where it's supposed to go, you know it.
Well, I like the decision there by Westerville South. You know, you want to try to make a special teams play. You're down 3 scores. And they've started out at their own 37, own 42 on some of those pooch kicks already. So really, I don't think you have a lot to lose here by making these guys back up 5 yards.
And again, you've got a guy in Saunders who's returned 2 for touchdowns. And, you know, if you're down 21-0, why not?
Yeah, you want to give him every opportunity to get the ball in his hands where he can make a play. So, you know, make these guys re-kick it. And now they probably won't risk kicking out of bounds again, but they'll probably not risk hitting it deep to him. But it's going to give them, I think, better starting position here, as St. John's will probably squib another one here.
And so the thing that I'm looking forward to seeing is defensively for St. John's, how you can sort of play those games now. Coach McDaniel talked before the game about wanting to get an extra guy in the box to try to stop Mansoray for Westerville South, and we'll probably see them do that a lot more now. Oh, and it hits off the up man, gets kicked back, and it lands about the 48, so I guess all's well that ends well, but that could have been real dangerous for Westerville South.
Yeah, that time the line drive kick right off the up man, but once he was hit, the ball scooted loose. But through that exchange, Westerville South comes out 13 yards ahead. They'll start out at their own 48 rather than their own 35. So it ends up being a good decision there, but they have to get this offense clicking. They've got to start moving the chains. They got to keep their own defense on the sideline, keep their offense out there in the field, and they have to somehow cut into that St. John's lead.
And I would think you do that by getting the ball to number 5, Saunders. White gets the snap. The give is to Mansoray up the middle. And he'll get up past the 50 out to about the 49-yard line. And again, Mansoray is an excellent back, averages about 154 yards a game, and like you said before, 7.5 yards a carry. He's a stud, but how much can you get him the ball down 21-0?
Yeah, that's just the thing. You know, right now though, you don't want to really try to waver too much from the game plan. You got to go with what got you here. But right now, St. John's defense has really been up to the challenge all night long.
White gets the snap, and the give is to Mansoray off the left side, and he's got some room. He'll get up past the 40, out to the 25, and he's met there and tackled. That's Jackson, the corner on the tackle. And that'll bring up first down for Westerville South, and you can see right there why Mansoray is such a dangerous weapon. Yeah,
he has electric speed there. We saw that a little bit. That time he took it against the grain there a little bit. Once he was able to get to the edge there, you saw the burners kick in. But that takes the ball just outside the red zone. They'll have a first down on the 23-yard line of the Titans.
So White in the shotgun brings a man in motion. And they're going to run the same play. Mansoray around the left side, breaks the tackle. He'll get out past the 15-yard line. And that's where they'll mark him, so it'll be close to a first down. It'll bring up second down and short here for South.
Yeah, another strong run by Mansoray. You know, he runs hard, and that time he's able to break a tackle on the edge, and he did exactly what you try to coach guys to do. Once he cleared, he cut it back against the grain, went back up the middle there, is able to get good yards. You know, that's going to bring up a 2nd and 2, but for the first time all night, Westerville South offense starting to show signs of life.
So the give again, he's going to try the middle for Mansoray, and he'll be close to a first down. We'll see where he's at, and there's a penalty. Something must have happened in the pile. We don't know what, but it looks like there's a player down holding his knee for South, and that's not good news if you're Westerville South.
Yeah, that time looked like there's some extracurricular activity after the whistle, and I'm not sure who they're going to call that on. But that time, once again, you saw a very hard run downhill there. He met a host of Titans.
So the officials here discussing what the penalty will be. We'll see what the call is as soon as they get it sorted out. We're not sure who's down on the field for Westerville South. As soon as we can find a number, we'll let you know. But they're talking to Westerville South to see if they want to accept the penalty. Looks like. So. It'll be a personal foul, against Westerville South. So they'll move them back 15 yards, and that's a penalty. That's a penalty you don't want if you're Westerville South. Just a disastrous play, and it looks like Mansoray is getting helped off the field. So you gotta hope that everything's all right for them. But we'll see where they put the down marker. Because they moved the down markers, so it will be a first down.
It was a first down on the run. I think he picked up about 3 yards. It was 2nd and 2. But now with the dead ball personal foul, that's 15 yards. But it will be 1st and 10. But albeit it'll be from the 28-yard line. So kind of a strange play. But one of the St. John's linemen was pushed backwards there after the play was blown dead. There's never a good time for a penalty, but that was a backbreaker there for the Wildcats.
So they're bringing in Gore at halfback. They'll fake it to him. White's going to get it wide open, and that's a touchdown. Number 14, DeVore, and he was wide open. There was a big bust in the secondary for St. John's, and that'll put Westerville South on the board.
Yeah, what a throw by Braden White. Great job bouncing back after he threw the pick six early. He comes back, throws a strike to Jesse DeVore there, who was wide open there. But a big-time answer there by the Wildcats. That's a score they desperately needed. Still plenty of time here with over 9 minutes remaining in the first half. But that has to do wonders there for your morale there, able to score there after really being manhandled that entire first quarter.
So extra point try here for Westerville South. It's up, and it's good. So that'll make it 21-7, and Westerville South is trying to fight back in this game. And if you're St. John's, that's a rough break after you get the fortunate 28-yard penalty, but there must have been a bust in the secondary, and that leads to the quick touchdown.
Now that's also going to make you play a little bit more honest on defense. Instead of sending those extra guys in the box, now you really have to respect that passing game. On the season, White was 51 for 116, so really, not even 50% completion rate. But what kind of jumps out is 912 yards on just 51 completions. So that's almost 18 yards per completion. That's pretty big numbers at the high school level. So they don't throw it a lot, but when they do connect, they've had some good success. As that is the 9th touchdown throw of the season there for Braden White, but it comes at a great time.
Matthew Bain back to kick for South. Back for St. John's is Mitsopoulos along with Zyrus. They'll kick it to the up men. It's fielded there by Toth, and Toth's going to have some room. Gets out past the 45, an ankle tackle brings him down by Gore. And they'll get good field position again for St. John's.
Well, that's exactly why Carson Toth is right there. He's a guy that can, go from 0 to 60 in a hurry. He gets the football, he just takes off and run. That's what you have to love about that upback. He got it. There was no hesitation. He tried to get yards. He gets it nearly out to midfield. So great starting position there for St. John's. We talked about the importance of the special teams, and right there is a big special teams play by the Titans, as they want to try to answer that score from Westerville South.
So 8:59 here left in the second quarter. St. John's up 21-7 over Westerville South. Empty formation here. Lichtenberg in the shotgun. And it looks like there will be a timeout here called by Westerville South. It looked like they weren't aligned correctly. And so St. John's must see something that they like out of this empty formation, because they've started to use it a little bit more as the game has worn on. after that first sack.
Well, they've gone back to it, and what that's allowed now is it gives them that extra receiver there where they've had a little bit difficult time as Lichtenberg has done a tremendous job of getting the ball out of his hands in a hurry. He's so accurate there. And, right now I think Westerville South defense needs to talk things over. I mean, this is a big possession here. Even though there's still plenty of time, you have to somehow find a way to get a stop, force another St. John's punt. And I like the timeout call there by the Wildcats to get organized.
Well, and with the success that St. John's has had, the last thing you want if you're Westerville South is to give up another big pass play.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that Coach Matthew Christ was talking about for the game. We got to limit those plays of 10 yards or more. And right now, St. John's has burned them several times.
So sweep out to Valentine off the left-hand side, and he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. So Valentine, with the injury to Toth earlier in the year, Valentine's been getting a lot of time at halfback. That's his first carry tonight. But that'll set up a 2nd down and 12 here for St. John's.
Yeah, that time they try to get Valentine on the edge, but a great pursuit there from that South defense. Especially liked how the secondary guys came up, gave a lot of support there, but just no chance for Valentine to turn the corner. That's going to be a loss of 2.
So 2nd down and 12 here for St. John's. 8:21 left here in the second quarter, up 21-7. Mitsopoulos is in the backfield. They're going to motion him out, orbit motion, and they're going to get it over on the left-hand side to Toth, who's going to get about 8 on the quick play, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 5 here for St. John's.
Oh, that's big. 3rd and 5, you got some options here. You were 2nd and 12, it's so crucial to get some positive yards there. That time they come up with a good 8 yards or so. That takes the ball into Westerville South territory, brings up another 3rd down here for the Titans.
So Lichtenberg in the shotgun. He's got Mitsopoulos to his right. He's going to fake it out to him, and he's going to take off himself. He'll get it out to about the 45-yard line. He's going to be about a yard short of a 1st down, and so Coach McDaniel has a decision to make here on 4th and 1 in Westerville South territory.
Well, I think this is 4-down territory, and here they're going with a little bit tempo here, no huddle.
And the whistle blows. The play it looks like timeout. Westerville South got the timeout, and it looked like they needed to. That didn't look like they were prepared for St. John's to run the no huddle, and that was a great job by St. John's getting up ready to go.
Yeah, excellent job there. That's something you really work on during the week, but that time, that's a big situation. 4th down and less than a yard. And that forces really Westerville to call that timeout. And that time you could see Lichtenberg was going to try to sneak it right up the middle there. Now it'll be interesting to see here the second time around if St. John's is going to mix it up a little bit and what Westerville's going to do on defense.
That was kind of funny to watch it. St. John's punter tried to sneak on the field and they pulled him back off, so it looks like they're going to be going for it. So we'll see what St. John's comes up with. I like the call anytime you're on the other side of the 50. I like seeing teams go for it. Analytically, that's what the numbers show. That's a high success rate. So they'll go out of the empty formation, try to spread out Westerville South. Lichtenberg is going to throw for it, gets it to Mitsopoulos, and he's going to be close to a 1st down. He's going to have it. So a great throw and catch there. A little surprised they went with a pass, but it works, and that'll be 1st down here for St. John's. Yeah,
well executed 4th down conversion. That time Mitsopoulos just really went 3 yards downfield, did a quick button hook, turned around, and you saw the strike delivered from Braden Lichtenberg. Ends up being a big conversion there. Takes the ball just outside the 40-yard line of the Wildcats.
4 receiver set here for St. John's. He's got his halfback to his right, and it looks like there's going to be a false start on St. John's left tackle there. And that'll bring up 1st down and 15 here for St. John's.
Yeah, that time you got spooked a little bit. They walked up an extra safety there on the line and just got a little bit of quick feet. But that's going to move St. John's off schedule a little bit here, being 1st and 15. Right now, that South defense really has to get a stop here.
So trips formation out to the left, single receiver to the right. Lichtenberg gets the snap. He's looking to his left. He's going to come back to his right, and they're going to try to get it to Zyrus. Single coverage. Oh, and he can't bring in the one-handed catch. And so, again, you can see that they love that matchup. Zyrus on the shorter defensive back, but they just can't complete it.
Yeah, once again, Brandon Armstrong just locked up there with Thomas Zyrus. And that time, St. John's sent 3 guys out on a vertical route. I think we're going to have a late hit on the quarterback. That's going to be an automatic first down.
So that's a backbreaker if you're Westerville South. They had St. John's backed way up, and that's just a mistake that in round 1 of the playoffs, down 21-7, that you can't make.
Yeah, this offense is too good to give them second and third opportunities, but what a break there for the Titans. Now you really want to cash in. You got a first down just outside the 30-yard line of the Wildcats.
Lichtenberg pulls the ball down, gets out past the 30, down to the 29, where it'll be second down here for St. John's.
Yeah, great job by that defensive front there of Westerville South. That time they really just had 4 guys there in the box and able to get enough pressure. And Lichtenberg, he tucked it away, tried to get some yardage out of it, but it only comes up with a gain of 1. Brings up 2nd and 9 here for the Titans.
So trips to the wide side of the field here. They've got trips to the left here. They've got Zyrus over to the right. Lichtenberg in the shotgun. Fakes the give to Valentine. He's looking, and he wants Zyrus on the out, and a great play there by the defensive back for Westerville South, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long. And you got to love how Armstrong's really stepped up after that, giving up that big completion.
Well, he really has. But not only does he have speed, but he's not afraid to get physical over there. I mean, he tries to really use his athleticism to his advantage, and that's not an easy matchup there on Thomas Zyrus. That's a big play. Once again, they just try to isolate the big boy here to the right side while they sent 3 guys downfield from the left side. That's going to bring up another 3rd and long here for St. John's, something they've been pretty good at this evening, converting on 3rd and 4th down.
So St. John's, it'll be 3rd down and 8 here with 6:06 left in the second quarter. So St. John's, to get here, their season, they started with a win over Bowling Green, a surprising loss to Anthony Wayne. I think a lot of teams were shocked after that one. They defeated Olentangy Berlin, who is playing Anthony Wayne tonight in the playoffs. Then 2 losses to Central Catholic and Whitmer, and then they have ended the season on a 5-game winning streak with wins against Fremont Ross, St. Francis, Findlay, Clay, and Lima Senior last week.
Yeah, they went through that tough stretch where they lost consecutive Fridays to Central Catholic and Whitmer. I mean, certainly 2 solid quality teams, 2 playoff teams, but they really had Central Catholic on the ropes. That's a game they'd love to have back. But I think really since that time, the last 5 games, their defense has averaged giving up just 18 points a game, where the first 5 games they were giving up over 31 points a game. So that's where they've really made some strides, and their offense has been really clicking all season for the most part.
Snap to Lichtenberg, and he's going to look deep. He's going to try to get it to Misopoulos, and he does! Touchdown for St. John's. Lichtenberg to Misopoulos. That was about 29 yards out, and that'll bring the score to 27-7. St. John's over Westerville South.
Wow, you just can't draw it up any nicer than that. What a tremendous throw there by Braden Lichtenberg. I mean, he drops a dime once again, but a tremendous catch there by Demetrius Misopoulos there. He's able to haul in that touchdown. You can see why Misopoulos was a first-team all-track player last year as a junior. He's just been so solid. He's got 54 catches on the season. Last year he had 93 catches. I mean, he's just an all-around athlete. But what a pitch and catch there as St. John's has struck again. And they've reclaimed that 21-point lead as they're up 28-7 over Westerville South.
So the extra point is good. And I got to tell you, I'm a little bit shocked, and I think a lot of people are hearing the score 28-7. because Westerville South isn't a team without athletes, but St. John's has really sort of exposed their secondary today. 3 touchdown passes for Brady Lichtenberg.
Yeah, I mean, people have talked about those athletes for St. John's all season, but we've heard so much hype here on Westerville South, how much speed they have, especially in that secondary. But again, I think right now, more than Westerville South really not living up to its billing, I think St. John's is really just clicking. You know, their offense has been so good. Their defense really has that, fight in them tonight. They're being awfully physical up front. They're being quick to the football. They're really playing together well. And, this is a well-oiled machine right now as they're used to playing football in November. This is the 3rd straight years to the playoff. But right now they want to close out this half on a bang here as their defense can take over here after the kick.
So Trablowski gets the kick deep, and that's going to be returned by Gordon. He'll get it up past the 30 to they'll mark him at the 30-yard line. So it's interesting to see the little special teams games. So they're trying to get the ball to Saunders, Westerville South, and St. John's has done a good job of locating him and kicking it away.
Well, you're exactly right. Great recognition, knowing where Saunders is at. You know, sometimes, like you say, you just come in where we're going to squib it. Well, you got to realize who's where when you're squibbing it and so forth. That time they kick it away from Saunders once again.
So Westerville South is going to try with a score on their last drive. They're going to try again, down 21 points. So White in the shotgun. He's going to fake the give, and he's going to try to go deep on the wheel route. And there's Saunders. He gets it at the 50, and he's going to try to cut it in, gets it down to the 35, and that's the one guy in Caden Saunders that you don't want to lose in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, that's just one of those things you cannot do. You cannot lose Caden Saunders, but you called it, Isaiah. He came out on a wheel route, and again, well-executed throw there from White. You know, he throws a strike there to that left sideline, and that's a big-time play. Takes the ball all the way inside the 35-yard line of the Titans.
So White with Gore to his right. The give is to Gore off the left side. He's going to make a cut at the 30 and get it down inside the 30. So, again, good success here for Westerville South on their last 2 drives. It's just they're 21 points down both drives.
Impressive run there by senior Aaron Gore. You know, he can cut on a dime. We saw that multiple times on that run right there. He's able to turn that into 7-yard gain there and first down, something they'll take. But, again, you know, you have to wrap up on those guys. You cannot allow the yards after contact. But tremendous run there by Gore on first down.
So White in the shotgun. Gets the snap, and the give is to Gore up the middle. And he's got not a whole lot of places to go. Spadell on the tackle there for St. John's, and that'll bring up 3rd down and short here for Westerville South.
Yeah, great penetration off the football that time by St. John's defensive front. You know, that's getting really physical down there in the trenches, which you have to love, you know, both these teams leaving it out there. It's going to bring up a big 3rd down here, although I would think this is going to be 4-down territory for South here if necessary.
And White in the shotgun, has Gore to his right. He's going to look down the field, and he's going to get it up to Saunders. And it's caught. Touchdown for Westerville South. That's DeVore. DeVore with his 2nd touchdown, and that's going to make it 28-13. Westerville South hanging in this game.
What a tremendous play by Jesse DeVore. And again, another well-thrown ball from quarterback Brayton White. But that time DeVore, he just went up for the football. He wanted a little bit more than the defense, and he's able to haul that in. But what a quick answer there by the Wildcats. They're able to really drive the field there just under a couple minutes here. That's a big score there.
So Flanagan, it looks like offsides here on St. John's. And here's something interesting. So we'll see what Westerville South
I hear you. I think that's something to think about. Here's a team that's had a lot of success running the football season. Now you're looking at 1.5 yards to get 2 points. But they also have a very solid kicker as well. But it looks like they're going to choose to go with the short extra point here.
So Boehm to kick the extra point. Hold is down, the kick is up, and it's good. So 28-14, Westerville South answers again. And St. John's just struggling to put them away on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, this is, coming in, I think, Isaiah, this is the type of football game that I think we all expected, a high-scoring affair where, both these teams got some big-time athletes. They got some big-time playmakers out there. And right now that South offense is starting to find themselves. And what they're doing so well is they're starting to mix in the pass with the run. They've had some success running the football, which has set up the pass. That's been a pretty good formula for them this season. Big reason why they're still alive here in the playoffs here. But the St. John offense has been even better here as they put up 4 touchdowns here. And we'll get one more opportunity here with just over 4 minutes remaining in this first half.
So again, a high-scoring affair. 4:20 here left in the second quarter. Lichtenberg with 3 touchdown passes. White with 2 touchdown passes, and then we have the pick 6 for Batch to give us our 28-14 score. And so it's off the up man, and Westerville South is going to have a chance to recover, and it looks like they do. Oh, no, it's pulled out. Oh, my goodness. How did that ball get out of there? It was pulled out, and then it's kneeled down. Oh, my goodness, that was wild. So James Bond on the recovery for St. John's. It looked to me like Westerville South had it recovered, and then we just see the ball squirt out to Bond there, and St. John's gets a lucky break.
Yeah, that's the second time tonight we've seen a kickoff go off and up, man. And that time, like you said, Isaiah, it looked like it went right back to South there. Looked like they were able to pounce on the football, but somehow the ball popped loose, and the Titans catch a break as they'll have starting position at their own 46-yard line here with plenty of time to sustain another drive.
So trips to the right here for St. John's. Lichtenberg in the shotgun, looking. He's going to get the ball out right away on the right side, and it looks like this one's going to come back on a hold.
That time they're going to get Zach Ryder with the hold. It looked like he had an awfully good block going, but I guess there was a reason he had an awfully good block going. And that time the holding penalty is going to back things up here. So that's a break there for Westerville South.
So that's going to bring up first down and 20 here for St. John's, and they're going to have a long ways to go. 4:05 here left in the second quarter.
Yeah, you can feel on this side of the football field, Isaiah, that, the fans are starting to get into it for South. The players are getting a little bit more animated, more enthusiastic. That's a break that, could really kind of keep momentum on their side. But right now, St. John's 1st and 20, empty backfield.
So he gets it out right away to Ryder. He'll get it out past the 40 to about the 42-yard line. And that'll bring up second down and about 14 here for St. John's.
I love that call. That's a pretty safe play. Just getting out to Jack Ryder there, have him go downfield 5-6 yards, turn around, catch it, try to fall forward for a couple more yards. Gets to be 2nd and 14, but much more manageable here for the Titans here as the clock is approaching the 3.5-minute mark of the opening half.
So empty formation, trips to the right here for Lichtenberg. Gets the snap, gets it out right away, and it's out to Toth. He'll get it out to about the 47-yard line before he's tackled. So that'll bring up third down and about 8 here for St. John's. And it'll be interesting to see what they do here with about 3 minutes left if they don't convert here.
They've gone back-to-back with just short routes out into the flats. They're able to get another 7 yards there.
So trips to the right, single receiver to the left. Lichtenberg gets the snap. Looking. It's going to be a screen to Toth. And he's going to be tackled there. A great play by the defense there for Westerville South.
Well, that time South stayed home. They only sent 3 guys on the line. They dropped 8 guys in the coverage, and probably not the play you want to run the screen on. And I think we're going to see South use their final timeout here to give themselves some time to work with here, as they'll have a chance for a 2-minute drill, as St. John's will have to punt it away here with 2:25 remaining here in this opening half.
So Amon Alfred on the tackle there. A great job snuffing out that screen for the outside linebacker, and we've called his name a couple of times, getting tackles out in open space.
Yeah, that really was a good play, you know, because, again, what he did, he wrapped up, did not allow yards after contact. And remember here, you still have time for the 2-minute drill, but also Westerville South will get the football to start the second half. So if they can put some points on the board here, they'll start the second half with the football. Still a lot of time to be played here, a lot of football ahead of us. But, you know, this game is starting to turn into the type of game I think we expected coming in, where it's going to be a shootout. And maybe the team with the football last might have the edge.
All right, so St. John's is going to punt it away. Blaze Witten, punter here, back for Westerville South will be Caden Saunders. And we'll see if St. John's has a creative way to get the ball away from him. High snap, fielded by Witten, barely gets it through. It looked like that might have been partially deflected. And they'll get it down to about the 23-yard line. I'm not sure how he got that punt off, Scoop.
Well, he went under the rush there. It looked like that ball was going to be an easy block, and they had 3 guys that really had penetration. That not only could have been a block, that could have been a scoop and score, but he was able just to kick a low-line drive underneath all 3 of them, and somehow he's able to get great yards on that kick. That takes the ball inside the 25-yard line of the Wildcats. In fact, that Saunders was not able to return it even better. So big play there by St. John's once again on the special teams. And now the defense will have to rise to the occasion one more time here to close out things in the first half.
So 2:16 left here in the second quarter. Trips out to the left here for White. Gets the snap, fakes the give, and it's going to be a screen. Out to Gore. Gore gets it out past the 30 and past the 35-yard line. He fumbles. They said he was down, so they'll get the ball at about the 36-yard line. That'll be a first down for Westerville South.
And that first down temporarily stops the clock, so plenty of time here. You see the 2-minute drill. They're going no huddle here, going through some tempo as you knew they would.
So White fakes the give and gets it out. And the pass is caught out there. And he'll get it out to about the 47-yard line. That was Wills on the catch. And that'll be another first down for Westerville South.
Yeah, nice catch by Javier Willis. He's able to get another first down.
Quick pass out to the edge, and it's caught out there. And he's going to run out past the 30, and he'll be pushed out of bounds over there. That was DeVore on the catch. And Westerville South is showing some life here, throwing the ball.
Oh, 3 quick plays, and they still have plenty of time. That takes the ball inside the 35-yard line of St. John's. But, Isaiah, that's that play we saw in the first quarter where they could not really kind of get on the same page. That time they got ironed out, and they're starting to use that speed, starting to use some of those athletes they have.
So in the shotgun is White. He's going to give it up the middle to Gore, and he'll get about 7 yards, and they'll have to get up quick and hurry. Again, Westerville South used all 3 of their timeouts with organizational issues in the first half. Excuse me, the first 2, and then the third to stop the clock on the St. John's punt. So a minute 20 left. White gets the snap. He's going to try to get it off the right side, and it's almost caught. It's incomplete. He intended it for DeVore over on the right side, and they must like that matchup. That'll bring up third down at about 6 to go here for Westerville South.
Yeah, they certainly did. You know, they really cleared out that short side of the field there. They had the one-on-one matchup, but once again just kind of ran out of real estate. Ball drifted to the sideline there and brings up a big third down here. Big opportunity for this St. John defense.
So you wonder with Westerville South also having a good kicker if they're just going to run the ball here and try to get it centered up and gain a couple of yards before fourth down. Penalty here, and it's going to be a delay of game here on Westerville South. And that's a rough penalty to take here, and it might move him out of field goal range.
Well, that hurts. That makes it a 50-yard attempt right here. So right now you're looking at 4-down territory. But, if they can get 8-9 yards here, certainly field goal is not out of the realm of things here.
So we'll see where they're at. We're going to have trips over here to the left. And again, look for number 5, the middle guy over here in the trips. That's Caden Saunders, their high-level recruit. White drops back, and they're going to get it out on the swing pass to Gore. And he makes a move, and he gets it up past the 25. He'll be at about the 24-yard line. And we'll see if they trot out their field goal kicker, if they're going to go for it.
Yeah, Gore took a shot. He went down hard. But, man, he runs so fast. What an athlete. I like how you got him behind Saunders there. You try to overload Saunders, and, Gore has that electric speed. But that time he hit a wall. And
that's very bad news for Westerville South, who's already down their stud halfback, Mansoray. And Gore was his replacement at halfback. So this could be rough sledding in the second half if he's not okay, but it looks like he's going to get up and walk off under his own power, so you got to hope that he's going to be feeling all right.
Boy, that's great to see because he took a lick there, but nice to see him get back on his own power there, walk off the field. But now you have an interesting situation. You still have 54 seconds left. You're looking at 4th and 1. What would probably be, close to a – looks like a 40-yard field goal, but I think they're going to go for it here. 4th and 1 here. Their offense has really been doing some things here.
So I don't know that they realize the clock's been running because it was an injury timeout. The clock runs as soon as the player's off the field. I don't know that they realized that, and they went to huddle up. That's a big mistake there for Westerville South. Oh, and it looks like he's going to be swarmed under, and he's going to be stopped at the 28-yard line. So a bad end of the series there for Westerville South.
And what a play by defensive end John Spidell there of the Titans there. He comes up big there. Looked like he was going to be able to, White was going to be able to tuck it away and at least get the first down, momentarily stop the clock and spike it. But Spidell makes a spectacular tackle for loss. And what a stop there for that St. John's defense. And they'll have 27 seconds here to work with, starting out at their own 28-yard line. Looks like they may just take a knee and let this thing run out.
And why wouldn't you if you're St. John's, with as great as this half is gone, just get into half and go. So that'll most likely be the end of the first half with St. John's up 28-14. So I don't think if you're St. John's, things could have gone any better and you've got to be feeling good going into the locker room.
Yeah, it's a tremendous start there in that first quarter. We talked to, head coach Larry McDaniel. He talked about how important it was for his guys to kind of get out of blocks tonight. They did that. They came out, I thought, on both sides of the football, did some very positive things there. And even when Westerville South, kind of caught their stride there, started executing, St. John's kept playing hard. They kept playing physical. Resulted in a 28-14 lead at the break, something I'm sure they'd be happy to take any time against this powerful Westerville South team.
All right, so again, three touchdown passes from Brady Lichtenberg, and the score at halftime is St. John's Jesuit up 28-14 over Westerville South. We'll be back after this.
and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the superior rated high school marching band, your St. John's Jesuit Marching Titans. The Marching Titans went to state competition last Saturday where they received a score of 1, which is considered a superior rating and all-around band performance. This is the first time in school history that the Marching Titans has received a superior rating. Please give it up for your Marching Titans. This evening, we want to take you to a place out of the cold and to a place where few people have ever been before. It's full of adventure and mystery. Tonight, we will be performing the show that earns a superior rating called Rainforest. Make sure you have your firm grip to your seat as you plunge deep into the heart of the forest and experience all the thrills and excitement of this wild once more. ladies and gentlemen, your superior rated marching Titans. As the marching Titans recover from the adventures of the forest, our fearless guide, Mr. Tim Martin, Willie Meyer, and Master Willis set up base camp while coaching the color guard. Cole Summer and Trey Jones are extending their way to the air, and they aren't busy official inspection. Ball Ashley Westphal, Alex Lemke, and Zach Papuska fending off the wild animals. Marching Titans on the St. John's Jesuit for your continued support.
and welcome back to Leiden Field. I'm Isaiah Kiefer here with my partner, Scoop Miller, where St. John's has a 28-14 lead over Westerville South here in round one of the playoffs. So, reviewing our scoring so far, St. John's has had, Brady Lichtenberg has had 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Ryder and 1 to Mistopoulos. They also had a pick 6 from Batch early on in the ball game. And Westerville South had 2 passing touchdowns from White to DeVore on both. So, Scoop, what are you looking for in the second half here if you're St. John's up 14 against a team that primarily runs the ball?
Well, right now, for St. John's, I think this second half is going to be important they get out of the gates well like they did that first half. Defense is going to get tested right away. It looked like Westerville South offense really started to peak there that second quarter. So look for Coach Larry McDaniel's squads to make a few adjustments on defense. They got to try to find a way to get a little bit more pressure on quarterback Braden White. They did a pretty good job containing the run, although we saw South get loose here a few times in that second quarter. So they definitely have to eliminate the big play, keep tackling in open space. Westerville has so much speed, you just cannot afford a guy to break a tackle and turn a short gain into a big one. Then the other side of it is, offensively, they put up some big numbers there that first half. You can't assume they're going to score 28 more points, so their defense has to really do a job, win that field position battle. But I think this game's going to go down the wire.
Oh, I absolutely agree. So a short kick, and it's going to get to Saunders. He's going to get it at the 20 and try to go outside. He's going to make it back out to the right. He's going to get out to about the 30-yard line before he's pushed out at about the 35. And it'll be first down there for Westerville South. So big development in the first half as well. Westerville South stud running back Mansoray goes out with an injury on the second drive for Westerville, and so they've had to bring in Gore at running back, and he's done a lot of work for them here in the first half.
Well, Aaron Gore is a solid runner there for Westerville South. He's kind of a different skill set, but what he does so well, he gets to the hole right away. He likes to run downhill. He's not afraid to lower his shoulder into you, but really he's got that blazing speed. St. John's has to keep him in front. Same can be said about Caden Saunders, their dangerous wide receiver as well.
So White takes the snap, and we're going to have a penalty to start off the second half. It's going to be offsides here on St. John's, so not a good way to start the half for the Titans.
Yeah, right now, your defense really got tested that second quarter. You just can't shoot yourselves in the foot. You cannot give them free yards as they'll be looking at 1st and 5 now. But again, that defense, they came up with that big pick 6 there. Gary Batch was able to take that pick 6 to the house there in that first quarter. That's really been the biggest difference in the game thus far.
So White gets it out quick on the edge to Wills. And he's going to get stopped there, nothing doing. Great tackle on the play. So that was number 21, Blaze Byer on the play for St. John's. A great play, and that'll bring up second down and about 4 here for Westerville South.
Yeah, tremendous tackle there by junior Blaze Byer there. He's able to lock up on the outside after a short gain. Going to bring up a 2nd and 4 here for the Wildcats.
Back in the shotgun for White. Has a running back to his right. He's going to roll out to his right. He's going to try to get the ball out there, and he throws it way up. And a good job breaking that up by Saunders. That could have been very, very bad as Jackson was parked under that one, and that'll bring up 3rd down here for Westerville South.
Well, that time St. John's went with the corner blitz and forced White to get rid of the football maybe a little bit earlier than he wanted to. But again, well covered there by that secondary of St. John's. Brings up a big 3rd down after, Westerville South got 5 yards there on that penalty. The defense has really rose to the occasion here the last 2 snaps.
Fake the give. White going to roll out to his right. Looked like that might have gotten tipped. And he gets the ball out, and it's caught by DeVore, who has 2 touchdown catches on the day, and that'll be a 1st down here for Westerville South.
Yeah, what a cerebral play there by Jesse DeVore. He knew exactly where the chains were. He's able to get there, and instead of trying to, juke his way around and possibly lose that yardage he had. He just went upfield, got an extra yard or two. That moves the chains. They take the ball out near the midfield line as they're looking at first down from their own 47.
So 1st and 10 here. White with a running back to his left. H-back trips to the left. So White looking downfield. He's going to try to get it out there to Saunders, and great coverage there by Mostopoulos. Excuse me, that was DeVore trying to get the ball to him, and then Mostopoulos on the coverage there. So great stop there. It'll be 2nd down and 10 here for Westerville South.
Yeah, again, you can see why Mostopoulos, the first team track as a junior, that time he had the daunting task of staying with their horse, but he did an excellent job. Stride for stride, is able to get a big deflection there, brings up 2nd and 10.
So White in the shotgun, has Gore to his right, 4 receiver set. Drops back, and it's going to be a screen pass, and it's dropped on the edge by Boehm, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long here. And it looked like that play was going somewhere, but Boehm just dropped the pass.
Boy, that's a huge break for the Titans there. That bubble screen looked like it was going to go a long way, but that time he just tried to go upfield before he secured the football. And break for the Titans, bring up a 3rd and 10, a chance to get off the field here on 3rd down. These are those big plays so you don't get do-overs on. So St. John's has to rise to the occasion here one more time.
Trips out to the left here for White. Has Gore to his left. He's going to roll out to his right, and he gets the ball out, dumps it off, and that's caught for a 1st down here for Gore. Good gain on the play, and that'll be a 1st down for Westerville South.
Yeah, what a big-time play there. They come up with a big conversion there on a 3rd down, but that time Jalen Gordon, the senior, is able to catch the ball in stride, takes the ball all the way down to the 35-yard line of St. John's, but big conversion there at 3rd down. It looked like the Titans had an opportunity there to get off the field.
The White in the shotgun with Gore to his left. 2 receivers out to the left as well. The give is to Gore off the right side, and he's got some running room. He's going to get inside the 20, inside the 10, and he'll be knocked down at about the 1-yard line. They're going to mark him down inside the 1, and it'll be 1st down and goal here for Westerville South, trying to get back in this ball game.
Wow, what a run again by Aaron Gore. What a luxury to bring a guy like that off the bench there. He has speed to burn. That time he's able to pick up some key blocks. He's able to turn the corner there, get to the edge. And now knocking on the door, trying to make this a 1-score game.
So White under center, and the give is to Gore up the middle. We'll see if he got in, and they're going to mark him short. That'll bring up 2nd down and goal. So a good stop there from St. John's straight up the middle. And Westerville South's going to try again.
That time they went with the old Stonewall defense. They really tried to fill in the gaps there. They stuffed it up the middle, and that's not an easy task as hard as they run there south there. But that time St. John's rise to the occasion, but they'll have to do it again here on 2nd and just about a foot.
So White under center again. And the give again is to Gore. He keeps his legs churning, and that's a touchdown. That'll make it 28-20, St. John's, with 8:44 left here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, great job by that South offense here to start things out in the second half. They put together a very well orchestrated drive that's highlighted by that big run from Gore down the sideline, and then he caps it off with the 1-yard plunge. And just like that, Westerville South has made this a 1-possession ball game, trying to tack on the extra point.
So when the kick is Boehm for Westerville South, and it looks like somebody jumped off sides. We'll see who's to blame here. It's going to be false start here for the Wildcats, and that'll back them up, and they'll kick from the 8.
That time they had movement from the slot back on the right side. It's going to back it up 5 yards, but certainly plenty of leg here for Matthew Boehm, the left-footed kicker, as this now will be a 25-yard extra point attempt.
He gets the snap, Laneza with the hold, and it's no good. It bounces off the post, and a good break there for St. John's. They find themselves up 28-20.
Well, that's where that 5 yards comes into play. You know, he had plenty of leg once again, but as with this extra point we saw earlier, he kind of pulled it to the right, even though he was able to sneak through that right upright. That time he hits the upright square on, and it bounces back in the end zone. And that's a big break for St. John's as they now sustain that 8-point lead.
You know, one thing, Scoop, that I've seen recently that I like, when teams are down 14, they've started to go for 2 when they make that first score. And you figure you got a 50-50 shot of scoring 2 from there. If you score the 2, then you can kick the extra point next time and take the lead. If you miss, you've still got another opportunity on the back end, and maybe that's something that Westerville South should have thought of before that last extra point.
Yeah, you know, that's something, you're right. You see more and more teams doing that. You know, that's something we did quite a bit back in the day, but we would usually set that up by faking the extra point. But we would try to do that to get that extra point advantage. There you see another squib kick, but this time St. John's are literally covers. That's the third time we've seen a kick go off the up man tonight. But great job there by the hands team for St. John's, as they'll have excellent starting position trying to answer that score there from Westerville South Wildcats.
And that's something you know, that it's a risk, but if you don't, you know, it's a huge risk, because if you don't get it, then you have, you know, good field position like St. John's has now, and that we've seen both teams sort of do that early on and sort of get bit for it, giving up good field position.
Well, I tell you what, both these teams have such tremendous respect for some of those skilled players that we see in these return positions, that they're doing all they can, even though it means giving up maybe potentially 20 yards of field position, just so they don't give up that big play on the special teams.
Lichtenberg with the snap. The give is to Toth. Up the middle, nowhere to go. He swarmed under quickly. And that was Justin Roberts on the tackle there for Westerville South. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 here for St. John's.
Well, again, you can just feel that emotion rising here on the sidelines here for Westerville South. They're playing with a lot of energy. They've been very physical. You know, the enthusiasm has picked up, not just on the sidelines, but with their fans as well. And a good stop on 1st down brings up 2nd and 10.
So a lot of space out there on the left side between receivers. Lichtenberg drops back. He's going to throw. Big hit taken, and he's going to try to get it to Zyrus. Gets overshot, and Lichtenberg took a big shot. And he's down on the field. He was completely exposed on that. He had just thrown the ball. It was a clean hit, but man, he's got to be feeling that right now.
Yeah, that was a clean shot right to the ribs, but it literally lifted him off the ground. So he was really lit up there. Certainly has the wind knocked out of him and then some. But again, we've seen that pressure, and that time we're seeing a very fired up defense here for Westerville. They're flying to the football. They're getting to the quarterback.
So 7:58 left here in the 3rd quarter. St. John's up 28-20 over Westerville South. So going into tonight, again, Westerville South coming in with a 6-4 record. And Westerville South was on, according to the computer polls, and again, Drew Pasture's Fantastic 50 does a great job putting all this stuff out, but his computers had St. John's as a 6-point favorite tonight. So it'll be, it's just, you know, it's interesting to see, especially with these 2 power conferences, the track and then the Ohio Capital Conference, with a couple of games going on tonight between the 2 conferences. It's just interesting to see how they compete and just how truly elite these schools are.
Well, you're right. And usually a 4 versus 5 matchup in the first round, that's usually a great matchup anyways. But coming in tonight, I think we all knew this was going to be one of those special matchups where really both teams were capable of winning. So you have to get it done by executing, playing hard, and playing the full 48 minutes. The team that can do that tonight is going to probably be victorious. But what a battle we've seen thus far here as we're nearing the halfway point of the 3rd quarter.
So Jaden Michael checks in at quarterback. He's going to give to Toth, and you see the negative effects there. They fumble, and that ball is jumped on. Recovery by Devin Oteng Achmafor, and that's going to bring up a first down for Westerville South, who has all the momentum, and that you see the negatives of bringing in a quarterback for his first snap cold off the bench.
Yeah, that's a tough break there. Just never really got the exchange there, and bounced right to a South defender. And, that turnover chain always shows its head there in a game like this. But what an opportunity here for South as they trail by just one touchdown and a 2-point conversion with the ball in their hands here, looking at a short field.
All right, so White in the shotgun. Brings a man in motion, and the give is to Saunders off the right side. And this one looks like it's coming back. But, again, if you're Westerville South, that's the kid that you got to get the ball to in any way that you can.
Yeah, you have to be creative, try to get the football in his hands. You want to get him at least 20 touches a game as you could. That time they go with the jet sweep. We're going to see it move back. I think we're going to have a hold on that right side, and that's a break there for St. John's. That'll take the ball back into Westerville South territory, as they'll be looking at a first down and 20 from their own 44.
So 7:46 left here in the third quarter. St. John's up 8, 28-20. Again, they were up 21 in the first half, and Westerville South wasn't moving the ball at all. So it's been impressive to see from Westerville South them just hang and get back in the game. They give us a Gore here off the right side. He makes a cut, gets it up to about the 50-yard line, where it'll be second down and about 15 here for Westerville South.
Yeah, that time you saw St. John's really stack the box. They sent a couple backers as well, but somehow Westerville South's able to get 5 yards on that, but they're still looking at second and 15 right on the 50-yard line.
So we'll see what they have dialed up here. St. John's defense is going to have their work cut out for them. It looks like they're going to take a defensive lineman off the field and put a different one on.
It looks like they've gone to the nickel here, so we'll see what happens here on a second 15. They're expecting a pass.
White fakes the give to Gore. He's going to fake the sweep, and he's going to try to get the ball to DeVore, who catches it inside the 10. And this one might be coming back. It looked like DeVore got away with a little bit of a push-off on the defensive back. And so the touchdown, the 50-yard touchdown, is going to be taken off the board. And Westerville South's coaching staff is not happy right now.
Yeah, not a popular call on the Westerville South side of the field, but certainly the right call. You saw just a little push with the forearm, created some separation. I think the argument is a lot of times you see guys let that go, but certainly was the correct call.
And it doesn't take much when you're running at that high of a speed and the ball is as accurate as that was. It doesn't take much of a push, but it was there and you saw it. So that'll bring up second down and really long here for Westerville South. They're moving the wrong direction. That'll bring up second down and 30 here from the 35 from their own 35-yard line. So trips to the left here for the Wildcats. St. John's sticking in their 4-2-5. Snap to White. Gets it out really quick. And it might be intercepted. And it is intercepted. So a great answer, Lash, on the interception on the crossing route. And that'll be a first down here for St. John's. A great play by the linebacker coming up and getting the interception.
Yeah, unbelievable turn of events. Looked like Westerville South was going to have an opportunity to tie the football game up as they connected on the long TD pass. Gets called back for the offensive pass interference. And then to start things out, they throw the pick, and St. John's will get excellent starting position at the 35-yard line of Westerville South. So what a change of events. But here's where your offense has to answer your door. The defense just came up huge. Offense has a short field. You got to put some points on the board right here to get a little separation here against this dangerous South defense.
So they're going to flip the formation here, go trips into the boundary, and you got to think they're looking at Mistopoulos here alone to the right-hand side. Snap to Lichtenberg, who's back in the game, and here he goes deep to Mistopoulos. He's open, and he just drops it, and you never see something out of that, out of Dimitri Mistopoulos. So a rough drop, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 here for St. John's.
Oh, they had the right play called. You know, we saw it coming on the flip there. We saw the isolation. You knew where it was going to go to. I think Westerville South knew what was coming as well. You saw the great little hitch move. He got to the outside. You know, they were in a cover 1 that time. There was no way for the center fielder to get over. He had a one-on-one matchup. He got some separation. He got behind the defense. He's going to make that catch 99 times out of 100, but doesn't make it there. Big break there for the Wildcats.
So Mistopoulos, they're going to get him the ball right away, out past the 35, out to the 30. He'll run out of bounds at about the 29-yard line, but this one might be coming back as there's a flag on the far side. And we'll see what it is. It's going to be a legal shift, it looks like, on St. John's. So if you're St. John's, the positive here that you've got to see is Brady Lichtenberg obviously being back on the field after taking a massive hit the last drive and leaving the game.
Yeah, he's going to feel that hit for a few days, you know. And, again, it was a clean hit. You know, they just really came through there. He stayed in the pocket as long as he could. He threw a deep ball, but he paid the price. But a great job by that Titan defense to hold the fort after that crucial turnover.
And Chris Lash, again, a huge defensive play to really get momentum back in St. John's direction. So Lichtenberg in the shotgun, has Toth to his left, takes the snap, rolls out to the right, throws it deep for Ryder, nothing doing, and it looked like he was just trying to throw that ball away. He didn't really have anybody to throw to, and they'll bring up 3rd down and 15 here for St. John's.
Yeah, again, great job there by that secondary of Westerville South. You know, that time they got some decent pressure up front. Lichtenberg did a nice job rolling out. They flushed him out of the pocket. But really, that was going to be a coverage sack. So he did the smart thing. He threw it several yards out of bounds. Going to bring up a 3rd and long, though, for the Titans from their own 40.
So, again, an interesting move here. They're going with a dime package for Westerville South, getting an extra defensive back on the field. So Lichtenberg's going to step up and try to throw it deep to Zyrus. Nothing doing. He was triple covered there. And that'll bring up 4th down here for St. John's. And an interesting decision here if you're Larry McDaniel. It's 4th down and 15. You don't gain a whole lot by punting from your own 40, but do you try to pin him deep?
Yeah, I think you have to pin him deep right here. Your defense has really done a nice job for the most part tonight. You know, force these guys to go the distance here. You know, from this distance, you should be able to get enough height on your punt where you're going to force a fair catch or maybe possibly pin them inside the 20. But we saw South nearly block a punt early in the first half. We'll see if they go after it this time.
So Witten again with a high snap, and it's blocked! It's blocked by Westerville South, and it's picked up there. And you called it, Scoop. A great call by you. That was blocked on the play by Justin Roberts and then returned by Jalen Gordon back to the 30-yard line, and that's going to be a 1st down here for Westerville South, and they, again, get a good momentum play to get them back in the game.
Oh, big special teams play there by the Wildcats, but again, that has to be something they certainly addressed at halftime. You know, they had an opportunity where they probably should have had a block punt in that first half, so I think they wanted to try to exploit that here in the second half. But what another big play by the Wildcats here. And now if you're Westerville South, you have to answer the bell. Your special team just came through for you. Your offense is looking at 1st down from the 28-yard line of the Titans. You have to cash in here, take advantage of the turnover.
White gets the snap, looking out. Oh, man, he was trying to get it down to DeVore, and it looked like there's a miscommunication. DeVore stopped. Almost intercepted there, and it'll bring up 2nd down here for Westerville South.
Wow, that time Westerville South got a break as it looked like St. John's was going to come up with a great pick. The effort was certainly there, but again, pretty good play by that secondary. You know, that time they dropped several guys into coverage. Brings up a 2nd and 10, but you see this Westerville South team starting to have a little bit more confidence with their passing attack. But you cannot forget about Aaron Gore, who has that electric speed.
The give is to Gore off the left-hand side, makes a cut, but he's stopped after little to no gain, and it'll bring up 3rd down and long here for Westerville South.
Yeah, great job in the trenches that time by that St. John's defensive front. You know, they got off the ball in a hurry there. They got some penetration, and that time just nowhere for Gore to go as he was trying to go lateral, then he tried to cut it up, but once he did, he saw a host of St. John's defenders. Brings up a big 3rd down and what could be 4-down territory.
So White with Gore to his left. 2 receivers to each side. White gets the snap. He's going to try to get it on the swing pass out to Gore, who had space and dropped it. So he had space. And then I'll bring up 4th down and 11 here from the 30-yard line. And what do you do if you're Westerville South here? I would think you have to go.
I think they're going to go for it. That's a tough break right there because that's a play that Aaron Gore normally makes. He would at least put them in field goal position. And being down 8, you know, right now you would probably be happy to get 3 points to get this within a touchdown. But right now it'd be a 47-yard attempt in the cold weather, so certainly 4-down territory. And here they line up to go for it with an empty backfield. Trips to the right, Twins to the left.
And you'd be looking for Saunders here, number 5. Tries to get it out, and it's intercepted again by Batch, his 2nd of the night. And he's going to get it out past the 30, up to about the 38-yard line, and he's shoved out of bounds there. Great play. Again, a 2nd interception for Batch, and St. John's defense answers the bell again.
Wow, what a big answer. And again, who but Gary Batch's 2nd pick of the night. And, you know, a lot of times you teach your guys on 4th down, instead of picking it off deep in the secondary, just knock it down. You'll get a 1st down where the line of scrimmage was. He saw that he had some real estate there on that left sideline, so he's able to take that ball out just to the 40-yard line. But again, what a big-time play by that St. John's defense, who really – hasn't got a lot of credit this year, but they've come up big several times tonight. And right now the offense would like to make this a 2-score game.
So Lichtenberg with Toth next to him in the backfield, 2 receivers to each side. Gets the snap. He's going to get it out on the screen to Cyrus. Nowhere to go. And he's hit right away. And I tell you what, Armstrong for Westerville South, he is tough. He might not be the biggest kid, and he drew a tough matchup with Cyrus, being about a foot taller than he is, but man, is he tough.
Oh, you're exactly right. You know, we saw that the entire first half as well. You know, he's 5'8", $155, soaking wet, but he's not afraid to put his hat on you. He gets physical out there, and he's got speed to burn. You know, that's a pretty good combination, even though he has his hands full a lot of times on the 6'4" Thomas Cyrus.
All right, so it'll be 2nd down and about 12 here after the loss on the play for St. John's. Empty formation, and they're going to jump off sides. That'll bring it back 5 more yards and make it 2nd and 17 here for St. John's.
Boy, this is the thing you just can't do if you're St. John's. You want to try to stay on schedule, but on 1st down they get a tackle for loss, and here on 2nd down they go with the false start. So now, just like that, takes the ball to their own 33-yard line, where they're looking at a 2nd and 17.
And it's dangerous to let a team like Westerville South, with the athletes that they have, it's dangerous to let them hang around. And you've seen a lot of self-inflicted wounds here in this 2nd half for St. John between dropped footballs and penalties. They've just really shot themselves in the foot offensively.
Yeah, and again, fatigue starts setting in at some time, too. When you have speed like Westerville South, you know, you cannot afford tired legs out there. So they have that big play capability.
So Ryder on the catch. That'll bring it up 3rd down and 11 here for St. John's. And you got to think that the Wildcats are going to pin their ears back and come after Lichtenberg here, especially after that hit he took earlier in the 2nd half on that long throw.
Boy, I think you're right. I think they want to try to force the football off his hands. They're looking at 3rd and long. They want to try to take away those vertical routes where they've had some success here tonight.
South in the dime package. The snap goes to Lichtenberg. He's got nowhere to go with the football. He's going to try to run it. He'll gain about 5 on the play, but not even close to a 1st down, and that's going to bring up 4th down and about 7 here for St. John's, who's probably going to have to punt the football away.
Well, you have to love the adjustments that the Wildcats and Coach Matthew Christ have made here in this 3rd quarter. Their defense has really caused some havoc there for that St. John's offense. they're going to force another punt. And, once again, look for them to go after it.
So if you're in St. John's, this is not a good situation. You've had one punt blocked, one punt almost blocked, and waiting back there you've got Saunders. Low snap, barely gets it off. He shanked it. It'll be out at about the 35-yard line, but I guess that's better than getting the ball back to Saunders. So it'll be 1st down and 10 here for Westerville South, who's going to try to get back in this ball game, and we'll see if St. John's excellent defense can answer the bell again.
Yeah, again, this has turned into a defensive struggle here. Both offenses have opportunities here this second half with some turnovers, the blocked punt that we saw. But, both teams have come up pretty big. But right now, Westerville South with an opportunity to tie things up here as they're just down 8 points.
So White in the shotgun, gives it to Gore up the middle, and he'll gain a couple of yards up to about the 39-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and 6 here for Westerville South.
Yeah, that's where they've had their most success run the football tonight. Just those, quick hitters up the middle, those straight dives there. They've not been able to really get to the edge yet. But that time he's able to hit the hole in a hurry, gets 4 yards.
White in the shotgun with the give to Gore, and he's going to get a couple of yards. An impressive run there for Gore. Tackle on the play by Perkins, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, that's the thing you can't do. We talked about the importance of yak yards, yards after contact. That time Gore was pretty much met at the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was going to get no gain at best. Somehow was able to get 5 yards, makes it a very manageable 3rd and 1.
So 3rd and 1, and I have to get to the 45 here to get a 1st down. The give is to Gore up the middle, and he's going to have it. That'll be a 1st down for Westerville South. Under a minute here left in the 3rd quarter.
And this is vintage Westerville South here, something that they've hung their hats on for most of the season, where they really just want to come out at you, establish the run, then set up the pass via the run, something they really weren't able to do that first half. But now they've found a little success. It's going to make St. John's play a little bit more honest and look for them to get that matchup through the airways here once they can settle up with the run a little bit better.
So Gore with the ball off the right side. He's going to get out past the 50 down to about the 48-yard line, and will be under 30 seconds now left in the 3rd quarter. St. John's with an 8-point lead.
Again, another solid play on 1st down. That's what's been really the telltale for Westerville South. When they can stay on schedule, get 4, 5, 6 yards on 1st down, that makes them a dangerous team because they do have the ability to throw the football. They have some of that blazing speed in the backfield. When they have all options in their repertoire, that's a nice offense out there. You can see why they're scoring over 31 points a game this season.
White with a quick hitch out to Wills. Ball falls incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd down and short here as we start the 4th quarter. So at the end of 3 quarters of play, St. John's with a 28-20 lead over Westerville South, and a great game so far. So just to recap the scoring, in the 1st quarter, St. John's scored with 5:50 left on a 6-yard pass from Lichtenberg to Ryder. 14 seconds later, scored on an interception return for touchdown from Batch. Then it took a 21-0 lead on a 15-yard pass from Lichtenberg to Ryder. Westerville South answered back with a 28-yard pass from White to DeVore. And then St. John's answered back, Lichtenberg to Mastopoulos from 29 yards. And then Westerville South has scored the last 2 touchdowns. 25-yard pass from White to DeVore, and then a 1-yard run for Gore has been the only scoring here in the 3rd quarter. And that's how we've gotten to the 28-20, St. John's over Westerville South. And I tell you what, Scoop, this has been a great game to watch so far. You got a lot of offensive fireworks in the 1st half, and then a couple of great defensive stands from both teams in the 2nd half.
Well, you're exactly right. I think both teams have had their peaks and valleys here tonight, but what you have to love is they keep playing through it. They've had some mistakes they've had to overcome. We've seen the defense rise up. We've seen some big plays on offense. We've seen big special teams play. This has been everything you expect out of a playoff football game.
White with the give off the left side. It's going to be a reverse to Saunders, and he's got blockers off to the right side. He's going to make a cut and get up. A good job getting on pursuit by Batch. But Westerville South runs about 40 yards to get the 4 yards they needed for the first down, and that'll bring up 1st and 10 from about the 42-yard line.
I tell you what, that was a big-time play by senior Gary Batch. You know, if he doesn't come all the way across the field, they might take that to the house. You know, that play was set up awfully nice. They had blockers ahead, but what they didn't anticipate was Gary Batch coming all the way across the field to make that open field tackle.
Trips to the left to give his Gore up the middle. He'll get up to the 40-yard line. He'll gain about 3 on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7 here for the Wildcats.
You can see Westerville South really wants to hang their hat with the running game here. They're trying to take advantage of maybe a St. John's defense that's starting to show signs of fatigue, but certainly the heart and fight has been there for St. John's all night. They continue to play. They continue to be physical in the trenches. And, can they keep this going here for the final 11 minutes of this contest?
White gets the snap, fakes the give to Gore. He's going to try to go up top to DeVore, but it's intercepted. Great job by Mistopoulos on the interception, and that's going to be a 1st down for St. John's. So again, White tried to get the ball out on a double move there to their lead receiver, DeVore. Gets hit, and the ball goes out, and Mistopoulos makes the pick.
Yeah, just great team defense. Mistopoulos has a tremendous pick on that, but you really have to credit that defensive line for getting pressure on White, forced him to throw the football before he was ready. He took a shot, ball clearly well underthrown. But again, they're doing what they have to do. They're continuing to fight. They're continuing to grind things out, and they can continue to come up those big plays. And none bigger than right there is Mistopoulos able to get the pick. That'll give St. John's the football the chance to get a little separation here, up just 8 points here in the 4th quarter.
Trips out to the right for Lichtenberg. Gets the snap. He's going to get it out to Zyrus, and it falls incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10 here for St. John's, and we've seen quite a few of those here in the second half, those dropped balls from the wide receivers for St. John's.
Yeah, that time it almost looked like they're trying to set up the hook and ladder once again, but that time he just can't quite haul it in. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
2 receivers to each side here for Lichtenberg. He's got Toth to his left. Gets the snap, looks, and the ball's deflected. Great play there by Eamon Alfred, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long here for Westerville South, who's going to bring in their dime package with Saunders at safety.
Yeah, you're right. What a play by the senior Alfred there. He's able to get great penetration, gets his hands up, is able to get a deflection there, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. Big play of the game coming up right here.
It's 4 receiver set here for Lichtenberg. He's got Toth to his right. He's going to fake the give to Toth. Looking. He's going to try to give the ball to Zyrus. Thrown behind him, and that's going to bring up 4th down here for St. John's. And again, a dangerous situation with their punting game. Again, if you're just joining us, 2 punts blocked by, or 1 partially blocked, 1 completely blocked, and then you've got a returner in Saunders who's returned 2 kicks for touchdowns this year already.
Yeah, what a 3 and out there for that Westerville South defense. After turning the football over, defense comes up big, and now we'll see if the special teams can make another play here for the Wildcats.
High snap, Witten gets the punt off, low line drive, and it's going to roll down past the 40, down to about the 35. So all in all, a good punt there for St. John's. And it'll be first down from the 34-yard line here for Westerville South.
Well, that's huge. That really flips the field. That's a 36-yard punt, but more importantly, no return. And so once again, great job by the special teams from St. John's. But here comes that defense out once again here with just under 10.5 minutes remaining in this contest. St. John's still clinging to that 28-20 lead.
So again, St. John's jumped out to the 21-0 lead, and the Westerville South Wildcats just hanging in. And now only down 8 here late in the 4th quarter. There's going to be a penalty here. It looks like it's going to be a sideline warning here on St. John's. Oh, never mind. It looks like they called a timeout before the penalty. So St. John's must, I don't know if they had it, if they didn't have the personnel out there or what. But so talking to Coach McDaniel before the game, he said his keys to the game were stopping the run and starting fast offensively. I think we saw a great fast offensive start for St. John's. I feel like with as high-powered as this Westerville South offense is running the ball, I would say that they've reasonably stopped the run tonight.
Yeah, I think, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what Coach McDaniel wanted. You talked about the 21-0 start, check. The other thing was stopping that run. On the very first series where they held them to a 3-and-out, they forced a pass there on third down. And then the first play of their second series, they forced a pass where Gary Batch intercepted and took it to the house. So I really think they established what they wanted to do. They took away the run early there, forced them out of their game plan a little bit.
So run here for Westerville South. Great stop. Gary Batch in on the tackle. So that'll bring up second down and long here for Westerville South.
Yeah, right now St. John's continues to do a great job of containing the run. We talked about how they do have that big play capability where they can really take it to the house any time, but they're doing a great job of really bending but not breaking here defensively.
So second down and 8 here for the Wildcats. Gets the snap, and White's going to tuck it. And he fumbles. We'll see who's got it. It looks like St. John's is pointing their direction. And St. John's again, their defense coming up big. Their recovery on the play there for St. John's was McReady. And St. John's defense, again, just spectacular tonight, getting another turnover.
Wow, what can you say about this St. John's defense? Just continues to rise to occasion, but junior Max McCready, what can you say about that? He's a guy that's really put his heart and soul into this contest, this entire ball game, like the rest of his teammates have. And they come up with another big play, but now we'll see if the offense can somehow figure out this defense that they've been unable to really penetrate here the second half.
Mostopoulos gets the ball out in space, and he's going to go. That's going to be a touchdown for St. John's. And they take a big lead. Dimitri Mostopoulos on the swing pass, 35 yards out, and that's going to up the score to 34-20. St. John's over Westerville South.
Well, right on cue. They finally get off to Schneid here in the second half as they were able to get the ball out in open space. And Mostopoulos, what can you say about his athleticism? That time he's able to take it, find just a little crease, and his speed and athleticism does the rest. And that's a huge score there by that Titan offense.
Extra point is up, and it's good, 35-20. St. John's with the lead over Westerville South. And so, again, the defense from St. John's came to play tonight, forced another turnover, and St. John's scores right away.
I tell you what, it's been a fired-up St. John's team and crowd all night. And, these guys are playing with a chip on their shoulder. They know it's been since 2010 when they've won a playoff game, and they want to end that streak here tonight. And the effort has been there, but we still have a lot of football to be played. We have just over 9.5 minutes remaining, but nice to see the Titans get that 2-score advantage, get this back to a 15-point ball game.
So Westerville South now has their work cut out for them, down 15 points with 9:34 left here to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is one of those possessions here where it's not a must-score situation, but I think from a mental standpoint, it's certainly huge here that you do something offensively, you really get things moving your way, and you really want to try to make this a one-score game. Your defense has come up big, but it's just the offense has turned the ball over here too many times, and the defense that time just was not able to contain the quick hitter there to Mostopoulos.
All right, so the ball's fielded by Gordon. He'll get it out past the 30, out to about the 32-yard line, and he stopped there. It'll be first down here for Westerville South. So, again, this is getting if you're St. John's, you're in a good position again. Westerville South, a team that likes to run the ball, not real comfortable passing since their quarterback went down in week 5, and you're going to make their quarterback White try to beat you with his arm.
Exactly right. Still plenty of time. You can't afford to go into the prevent. I mean, you have to keep doing what you've been doing, but keep these guys in front, wrap up, limit the yards after contact, force these guys to go upstairs.
So St. John's moves an extra guy in the box, and that's blocked. Gary Batch again. He's having himself a night with the pass deflection. And again, you saw sort of the games that St. John's is playing. They moved an 8th man into the box despite the 3-receiver set, and it just makes it tough. And White's going to have to beat him with his arm.
Yeah, they're putting pressure on. They're really daring to throw the football upstairs. But great job by Bass. Not only did he get penetration, he had the presence to get his hands up. Gets a big deflection there.
White drops back. He's going to throw a screen pass, and it's caught out there. And he drops the football. Oh, man, Gore had running room, plenty of running room, and just dropped the ball. And so what would have been a promising play, most likely a first down and then some, is now going to bring up 3rd down and 5 here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, they had the right play called right there, and we saw the initial miss there. It looked like he was going to have a lot of room down that sideline, but the fumble, it's going to limit the gain. They're fortunate to get that back, but it brings up a 3rd and 6. Huge opportunity once again for this Titan defense.
It's White in the shotgun. Gets the snap. He's going to give it to Gore off the right side. He's going to gain a couple and make it about 4th and 5 here. And if you're Westerville South, you got nothing to lose running the ball there. You're going to go for it on 4th down. You might as well make it a more manageable 4th down play.
Yeah, that brings up a huge 4th down right here. This is almost crunch time now. You're on your own 39-yard line, so if you go for it, don't get it. You give St. John's an awfully tough field. But if you punt it away, the clock is now under the 9-minute mark. And this St. John's offense starting to find its stride.
So Mostopoulos coming off the field. It looked like he had an equipment issue that he's got to get fixed. So it'll bring up 4th down and 5, and you got to think that they're running that way, that they're going to throw that way. And White's looking that way, throws it to DeVore, and he's going to catch the ball and get up on the other side of the 50, down to the 46-yard line, and that's just good coaching right there, taking advantage of Mostopoulos going out on the play.
You're exactly right. You have to love that. Very cerebral call there, understanding that they were a little bit short-handed, had to go with a quick substitution. But well-executed 4th down conversion. That takes the ball into Titan territory.
So White with trips to the left. Fakes the handoff, and he's going to try to get it to DeVore again, and this time Mostopoulos is there. Nothing doing. That'll bring up 2nd down and long here for Westerville South.
Yeah, that time they wanted to take a shot downfield, and, but well defense that time of Mostopoulos as he's able to really go stride for stride, forces the overthrow. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. But certainly 4-down territory, as we saw a little bit ago from here on out.
So they're going to go trips to the boundary here, and if you see a team go trips to the boundary, that usually means something crazy, and they're going to bring Saunders across. That's probably who they're going to try to get the ball to, and it is on the screen. And here he goes, breaks the tackle, gets on the other side of the 40 to the 30, makes a cutback. And, oh, man, gets up to the 20-yard line, and that kid is electric with the football, and you can see why he's got a lot of those Division I schools looking at him as only a sophomore.
Tremendous job there in the bubble screen. You're right, Isaiah. They had trips to the short side there, but once they sent him in motion across, then they brought him right back on the bubble screen. And you saw the athleticism from there. He made several guys miss. He somehow extended that play. Takes the ball all the way down just outside the red zone. So they'll have a 1st down on the 21-yard line at St. John's.
White gets the snap, looking. The ball is tipped and falls incomplete. A great job by Spidell there to deflect the pass, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 here for the Wildcats.
Well, we've seen time and time again that St. John's defense rise to occasion, especially down there near the red zone. They've come up big several times tonight, but they're being called upon one more time. This could be a huge stop for St. John's if they can somehow find a way to get a stop here. Looking at 2nd down and 10 here, again on the 21-yard line of the Titans.
White gets the snap, fakes the handoff. He's going to try to get the ball out. Oh, nearly intercepted by Jackson, and it's run in for the touchdown. Oh, my goodness. That had 6 the other way written all over it. And instead, it's completed to Boehm for the 21-yard touchdown.
Wow, looked like St. John's was trying to go for the pick 6, and when he whiffed on it, Matthew Boehm catches it and takes it to the house. And what a contest this continues to be as neither team goes away. And Westerville South has now made this a one-score game depending on the extra point right here. They cut it to 9.
And that had to have touched both of Jackson's arms.
I think it did. I mean, that was just an incredible play once again.
So good decision here to go for 2 early. White gets thrown back, and it's incomplete. Great pressure, and who else but McCready and Batch on the pressure. White's down on the field after that play. So if you're Westerville South, you would want to go for, it's a good plan to go for 2 early, so that way you know when the ball game's late whether you need 2 scores or 1. So it remains a 2-score game, 9 points with St. John's ahead.
Yeah, you certainly understand what they're doing there, trying to make this a 7-point game. And again, Isaiah, as you mentioned, if you don't get it, which they didn't, now you do have to realize it's a 2-score game, so that might change your mode of attack. You may have to go a little bit more, more no huddle, more 2-minute offense, try to get some tempo going. But you also know your defense has to really get a 3 and out here, get the ball back to your offense, who still needs 2 scores after the big-time stop there by that Titan defense on the extra point.
So White, good sign here, walking off the field under his own power. He took a pretty big hit. Again, Batch and McCready came through almost untouched right away, and he had to get rid of that ball. So you hope that he's okay. But 7:37 left on the clock. St. John's with a 9-point lead, 35-26 over Westerville South. And you got to wonder, with as short of kicks as both teams have had tonight, if they're going to try to onside kick it here, if they're just going to kick it deep.
Yeah, look for them to squib again. If they can bounce off an up man, they'll take it. But certainly look for some kind of a pooch kick here. St. John's certainly expecting the onside kick.
St. John's has 8 guys up within that first window, and it's stopped there. It's caught. It's caught on the play. Jason DeZerwa on the catch, and that'll be good field position here for St. John's.
Now that kind of surprised there, Isaiah. The fact that St. John's expecting the onside kick, they had nobody behind the 30-yard line. I thought that might be an opportunity where now you're going to use your good kicker, kick it deep, kick it into the end zone, force St. John's on a long field, put the trust in your defense. But being down 2 scores, I understand it as well. There's only 7.5 minutes remaining. You want to try to get the football back in your hands, but now the defense has to come up huge here. Great starting position for the Titans one more time.
Mostopoulos comes in motion, and the give is to him off the right side. Makes a man miss. He's going to get around, and he'll gain a lot of work there to gain 1 yard for St. John's.
Yeah, he probably, with the motion route, he probably went 40 yards there to get half a yard. But again, both teams continue to play hard. A lot of these guys are going to be sore all weekend. They really have left it out there. It's been a well-played game by both teams. It's been a hard-hitting game. I think that's why we've seen so many fumbles tonight. Both these teams have been physical from the opening kick on. But right now, St. John's using that clock as an ally, trying to let that play clock run down. As it's at 2, they'll snap it at 1.
Lichtenberg tries to get the ball out to Mostopoulos, and they're going to call it a catch, and they'll get it out past the 50 down to the 49. And again, this is sort of when you're a team that throws the ball as much as St. John's, it can sometimes be tough to close it out and keep the clock running. So it's good that they have a quarterback like Brady Lichtenberg who can make nice, short, accurate throws.
You're right, and we saw a tremendous catch right there. And what's so huge about that catch, that keeps the clock running. If that's an incomplete pass, you're going to have 40 more seconds on the clock. But St. John's will let this run down. Right now the play clock is at 4. They're going to snap it at 1 once again.
Lichtenberg gets the snap, and the give is the throw is to Zyrus, and he's going to be close to a first down. It looks like they're going to mark him just short. It'll be 4th down and less than a yard for St. John's. Oh, and they marked him. The official on this sideline had him marked short. The official on the other sideline apparently gave it to him. So that's a first down for St. John's, and they catch a break there.
Yeah, certainly we saw a loud roar come up from the Westerville South sidelines. But that's going to move the chains. And certainly look for St. John's once again to let the clock run down here before they take another snap.
So a player down here for Westerville South is the delay. It looks like the way they're stretching it out, it's just a cramp. So, and that's number 3, Brandon Armstrong, who's had a great night tonight. Really been tough covering Zyrus. Given up about 8 inches trying to cover him. He's done a great job coming up making hits, so you hope that he's okay and it's just a cramp and can get back out there.
Yeah, he really has done a tremendous job all night long, and if there's any guy that probably going to come down with a cramp, he might have been on the top of your list. As hard as he's played, as much energy as he's expended out there tonight, he's had his hands full, but has really risen to the occasion.
All right, it's a 4-receiver set. They send Mostopoulos out in motion. Lichtenberg is going to keep, and he's going to get it up. He's going to get it up to about the 42-yard line. So that'll bring up 2nd down here in about 9 here for St. John's. But again, the big thing is they want to keep that clock moving.
And right now, just a tremendous job of time management by head coach Larry McDaniel here. They're doing a great job of really shortening this game down. Right now, 18 seconds on the play clock, but you can bank that they're going to snap it with 1. In fact, the last time they snapped it, it was about just under half a second. Right now, the play clock is at 5.
Lichtenberg, Mostopoulos out in motion. They're going to get it to him out on the swing pass. He's going to have room, and he's going to get it out in front of the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd down and about 6 here for St. John's as we're down under 4:40 here left in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that's big because this is going to be 4-down territory, and before they take another snap, the clock will be approaching the 4-minute mark. So right now the offense doing its job, really shortening this game, trying to find a way to extend this drive. If they can get another first down here, it would certainly be huge. Westerville South still has all 3 timeouts remaining.
So 3rd down and 6 here. Lichtenberg gets the snap, looking, takes a hit, and it's incomplete. And again, guess who? Brandon Armstrong, corner over there, steps in front of the pass, and that's going to bring up 4th down and a choice to make here for St. John's.
Yeah, great play by Brandon Armstrong once again. He was stride for stride. In fact, that ball, I think, hit him on the numbers there. So, again, he's in the right place at the right time, forces another 4th down. Looks like St. John's is going to try to pin these guys deep with the punt. But once again, look for the Wildcats to really send the house after this punt. Try to get another block.
So Witten back to punt. Low snap, gets it, and he gets the punt off. And it's fair caught by Saunders down at about the 16-yard line. So again, a good, the best possible result I think you could ask for with their punting troubles that St. John's has had tonight. So with 3:59 left to go here in the 4th quarter, St. John's with a 9-point lead, but Westerville Southern with the ball.
Yeah, this is right now. This is a gut check for Westerville South. You're down 2 scores. You got just under 4 minutes remaining. You're looking at a long field. This St. John's defense, one more time. Can they rise to the occasion? They have to keep guys in front, not give up the big play.
So White, after taking the shot on the extra point, goes out, and they're just going to snap the ball to Saunders, their athlete, and see what he can do. Gets the ball out to DeVore on the screen. He'll get out to about the 21-yard line, and so a good pass there from Saunders But you got to think you're taking away your best receiver and putting him at quarterback, which would usually be okay. But when you're down 2 scores with 3:53 to go, it's not ideal.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a good, well-executed play. They get 6 yards. It takes 6 seconds. Right now, St. John's just wants to keep everybody in front.
Gets the ball. A lot of pressure. Saunders going to get out to the left side and do what he does best. Run out in green space, and he'll get out past the 30. That'll be a first down. But, again, not much yardage with 3:45 left here to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that might end up being their best offense. Just let Saunders get it out of the shotgun, give him some room to roam and see if he can find a hole. That time he's able to move the chains, gets a first down. But we're now at the 3:45 mark.
So empty formation here. Saunders gets the snap. Looking. He's going to throw underneath. It's incomplete, intended for Gore. And you kind of got a feel for Westerville South a little bit, being already on their second string quarterback and their second string quarterback going down.
Yeah, that's certainly tough math when you got to come in spur of the moment like that. But that time I liked the call. They had Gore coming across the middle after they sent 3 guys deep on vertical routes. He had some room, but ball clearly underthrown. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
Trips out to the right here for Saunders. Gets the snap. He's going to throw it out quick, and it's caught out there by Wills. He'll get it up past the 35, out to about the 37-yard line before he's stopped there. 3:30 to go left here in the fourth. St. John's up by 9.
Nice job there by Wills. He's able to get pretty good yards there. Picks up 8 yards, brings up a 3rd and 2, but clock continues to wind.
Saunders drops back, gets pressure from Batch in his face, and he escapes out to the 40-yard line. And I tell you what, this kid is fun to watch. And that's going to be a blindside block. That one's coming back. And it just a completely unnecessary block there if you're Westerville South when the ball was going out of bounds anyways.
Yeah, he clearly was going out of bounds. And, the question is, they're going to give him the first down and then the penalty.
But, I mean, you're already having trouble moving the ball. You don't have a quarterback that can throw. And, Saunders is very obviously going out of bounds. He's got nowhere to go. And to have a silly blindside block like that, negate what would have been a first down is just a backbreaker there. Yeah,
there's just no time for that penalty, but certainly a bad time for a bad penalty here, as he clearly looked like he had the first down, but with that penalty is going to move the ball back inside the 30-yard line, back down to about the 26. But I think it will be a first down. I think he had the first down.
And, I think you never want to say the game's, over before it is, but I believe the fat lady's starting to warm her voice up a little bit with a down to your third string quarterback and without your best receiver out there catching.
I like him just scrambling the football. I'm not sure I'd even be throwing it with the wheels that Saunders has. I have no problem with maybe sending guys on vertical routes and just let him juke and jive his way through open space.
Yeah, fourth quarter here, 3:04 left. St. John's up 9 over Westerville South. So again, Westerville South has had plenty of opportunities here in the second half, but it's been very, very impressive, the St. John's defense and how they've really come to play tonight and kept their offense in when they were scuffling a little bit.
Yeah, they really have. The defense has really been a story of tonight.
Oh, and it's caught. What a catch on the sideline by Jalen Gordon. And that's going to be a first down for Westerville South. They just sort of tossed it up, and Batch was there, went to knock the ball away and knocked it right into the breadbasket. And that's where, that's one of Matt Patricia, head coach of the Lions. That was always his big thing with the Patriots, is you always want to punch up through to avoid that exact scenario where you get your hands on the ball but knock it right into his stomach.
Well, you're right. They had the coverage was there. They were just locked in on him. That looked like it had no chance, but somehow Jalen Gordon is able to make a great catch. That takes the ball into St. John territory.
So design quarterback run here for Saunders, and you see the how he's dangerous, but a good tackle there on the play. Lash on the tackle, and that'll bring up second down and 11 here for Westerville South. They'll get right back up to the line, trips to the right, trips to the left. He's going to try to throw it deep to DeVore, and it's knocked away. Great play by Mistopoulos, and that's going to bring up third down and long here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, again, great coverage there by Mistopoulos. He's able to bat it away, and that's going to bring up another third down, this time with just 2:29 remaining.
And DeVore limping off the field, and that's, again, just the injury bug biting tonight. So we already, Westerville South are already on their second-string quarterback. Then loses their top running back, Mansoray, early in the first quarter, a kid who came in averaging 150 rushing yards a game. And then on top of that, you lose your second-string quarterback and have to put Saunders back there. And now DeVore, their leading receiver, with Saunders in the backfield. So Saunders going to try to make it out to the left. He's going to get up past the 45 and gets down to about the 42. So making as much as he can out of nothing. And I tell you what, he is an impressive athlete, and you see why he's getting a lot of looks from a lot of high-end Big Ten teams with that sort of athleticism.
Yeah, he's a really special player. He's only continued to get better here, just a sophomore. But he's got such electric speed, he can cut on a dime. But right here, this is a game, set, and match right here. Titan defense here could really ice things down.
So Saunders drops back. He's going to try to get the ball to Gore, and it's broken up. Oh, but a penalty flag, a late penalty flag. So it looked like Perkins broke up the pass, but it looked like so it's tough to know there whether he got the pull on the jersey before or after he made contact with the ball, and that makes a difference. They said he got his hands on a little bit before, and that's going to make it for a first down for Westerville South.
Oh, that's a tough call there for St. John. Looked like they're going to get off the field and able to really lock this game away. But the late flag comes in. That's going to extend this drive. And it came from the referee of all places. But anyways, nonetheless, going to take the ball down to about the 30-yard line, I believe, what they get done marking this off.
And so Westerville South, like they've done all night, just hanging around. Every time you think, St. John's had the early 21-0 lead, you start to count them out, they come roaring back. And they've done this so many times throughout the night, they just keep hanging around.
Yeah, both these teams are so well coached. You knew they weren't going to roll over and go away, and give both these teams a lot of credit. They're still playing awfully hard. There's a bubble screen.
So Boehm gets the reception on the screen, and that's gonna bring up second down and 5. Again, if you're St. John's, give up the yardage and just let that clock keep ticking. We're now under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter here.
Yeah, keep guys in front. Bend, don't break.
Saunders is going to loft it up out to the outside, and a great catch. Wow. An awesome catch on the outside by Wills, and that'll bring up a first down and goal. And Westerville South, again, just hanging in there.
Yeah, they continue to play. What a big-time play there by Wills. He's able to haul it in. The 6'1 sophomore, that takes the ball inside the 5-yard line of the Titans.
Oh, you can't. This is bad clock management. They didn't realize the clock was running. They thought he got out of bounds, and they just let about 15 seconds tick off the clock. They're going to loft it out, same play. Oh! Almost a one-handed catch for Wills. But that's if you're Westerville South, if you're the coaching staff, that's bad clock management. Your players were huddled there for about 15 seconds before they realized that the clock was running.
Yeah, the fact that he got out of bounds, they just thought the clock had stopped, but it was forward progress was ruled, which was the right call. And so the clock wound. Once they spotted the football, nobody realized it.
The shotgun here for Saunders. Gets the snap, looking, throws, and it's intercepted. and he's got nobody in front of him. Mostopoulos is going to try to run it all the way back, and he's got a lot of space. Gets it down to the 30, the 20, and that's going to ice this game. Dimitri Mostopoulos with the touchdown, and that's going to move St. John's on to the second round.
Wow, what a big-time play by Dimitri Mostopoulos as he takes the pick six, 100 yards to the house. We do have a late flag that was thrown at the 30-yard line here just as he was getting to the end zone, so we'll see if they're going to call that back or not. But what can you say about this St. John defense? They've had that bend but don't break mentality all night. They've come up with big play after big play all night long. None bigger than that one right there by Mostopoulos.
So they're calling a dead ball unsportsmanlike conduct on St. John's. So it's not gonna bring the touchdown still counts, but that'll bring on the extra point. St. John's up 41-26.
Wow, what a contest this has been, but that's the final dagger right there.
And who better to get it than Mostopoulos on the great play there. 102 yards on the interception return. Minute 7 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Extra point here for Chablowski. It's up. And it's good. So St. John's with a 42-26 lead on the late interception return for touchdown by Mostopoulos. So, again, Mostopoulos, that's his third touchdown of the game. He's got 2 receiving, a 29-yard and a 35-yard reception, and then a 102-yard interception return for touchdown to really put this game out of reach. And you've just got to be impressed with Mostopoulos and a lot of the stuff that St. John's has done tonight.
Well, Mostopoulos has had an unbelievable game for the ages here that people at St. John's will remember for a long time. But it certainly has been a team effort all night long for St. John's. You know, it's been, both sides of the football have come up extremely big at times. That's the second pick six of the night for the defense. The offense has come up with some big plays. And the special teams has been up to the task as well. So it's really been a well-oiled machine here tonight in Week 11. And for the first time since the 2010 season, St. John's is going to get a victory here in the playoffs, and they're going to move on to the second round. But they certainly have had to earn it here tonight against this Westerville South team that just would not go away even after they fell into a 21-0 hole early in that first quarter. They had thoughts of coming back, but this St. John's team just continued to rise to the occasion, and that was the final dagger right there by Mostopoulos.
So again, 42-26 lead. The kick here from Chablowski. Again, you gotta appreciate the fight. With as much as Westerville South has gone through injury-wise in this game, you gotta appreciate the fight from them. But a great job by St. John's to really make him pay. So a good run up there by DeVore. He'll get the ball down to the 35-yard line, but again, you sacrifice yardage for time at this point.
Yeah, great job by DeVore. He had the presence of taking the short kick and just trying to get some real estate after that. He got ahead of steam going, was able to get out of bounds. But they'll have excellent starting position, but they're still down 2 scores. But again, it's a 16-point game, so Westerville South is not going to throw in the towel yet. They're going to try to go upstairs, try to somehow make this a 1-score game and then go for the onside kick. But this St. John's defense has just been so stellar all night long, especially when Westerville South has gotten deep into St. John's territory.
So Saunders dropping back, and he's going to take off and run, and he throws it, and it's complete out there. He'll get up inside the 5, down to about the 1-yard line, we'll see, and they mark him short. So a good catch and run there for Wills, and he'll be down inside the 1.
Right now you got to have that play called here, and you got to be able to get the ball in the end zone, save every second of clock that you can. You got to remember they still have all 3 timeouts remaining. And they use one right there with 49 seconds remaining, and still mathematically not out of it, but certainly St. John's in a pretty good spot right here.
So St. John's in Division II, Region 7. We're looking forward. They'll play the winner of Central Catholic and Toledo St. Francis. On the other side, we know that Anthony Wayne has won, and they'll await the winner of Troy and Lewis Center Olentangy, who's also in Westerville South League. So, you know, in earlier in the year, St. John's has been the team that's stuck closest to the undefeated Central Catholic, and they really gave them a ball game, only losing 31-26. And that was a ball game late into the game.
Well, you're exactly right. And if they hadn't turned the ball over like they did, you know, that would have been a different outcome. So certainly they have to feel confident that's a team they could beat if they play well. And there you see the touchdown from South. And here comes the big 2-point conversion coming up to somehow make this a one-score game with 45 seconds remaining.
So Saunders with the 1 yard touchdown rush. 45 seconds left on the clock. And we've said it all night. Every time I feel like we count out South, they just keep hanging around and coming back.
Well, you're right. We talked about how well coached both these teams are. So, again, you know, they're not going away. You know, as a coach, you still have that plan in your mind, how you're going to win this game. It's going to take the 2-point conversion here. Then you get your onside kick. But we've seen plenty of action in that tonight. But, again, you know, the fact that both these teams have some big play guys, you know, they can score at any time. But right now, St. John's here could really put an end to any comeback hopes here if they can snuff out here the 2-point conversion here coming up from the Wildcats.
So again, 45 seconds left here in the fourth. St. John's up 10. We got an injured player, Gore, who's their second string running back, and you feel like a broken record just talking about all the players that they have out, all the starters at skill positions. He is standing now, so you hope for a good sign there. He's limping. He's able to limp and get off the field with a little bit of help. So, again, what you need here, if you're Westerville, is you got to score. You got to score the 2-point conversion. So draw up your best play here, and then you got to get the onside kick. And you got 2 timeouts. You don't have your starting quarterback or your backup quarterback or your top receiver or your first or second string running back, but it could happen.
Yeah, look for Sanders to get the ball here. Look for him to roll out where he's got the run-pass action. You know, you have to maybe like your odds here if you can get him out in space a little bit to try to pick up 3 yards. He's not going to be an easy guy to bring down, but here comes the 2-point conversion right here.
Saunders gets the snap, looking. He's just going to throw it up to Wills, and it's going to be a penalty. They're going to call the pass interference. And, you wonder if that's what they were looking for, just to move it half the distance. I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised, to be honest, they didn't just run it up the middle with Saunders.
Yeah, that time clearly just a fade route. They threw it upstairs, kind of a jump ball. They're going to get Juju Jackson there on the pass interference in the end zone, so that should move it to the 1 yard line. And so once again, we'll see the 2-point conversion attempt coming up, this time from the 1.
So we'll see what Westerville South has drawn up. Again, this is pretty much the game right here. If they don't make it, then it's pretty much game over. So we will see what they have drawn up. Saunders is going to run for it, and he's got open grass, and he's in. So Westerville South hanging around, down 21-0, and down 2 scores most of the second half. Just keep fighting, and man, if you are Coach Christ for Westerville South, you have got to sleep well tonight, knowing that your team fought as hard as they could, win or lose, in this football game.
Well, he's got to be awfully proud of his guys, but I think that is kind of the mentality of that whole coaching staff. These guys, you can see the passion they have for this game and the kids, and it certainly has been very evident that the players, they have had many times to throw in the towel tonight. They continue to grind it out. They continue to scrap. Right now, they just need to convert the onside kick, and then they'll have an opportunity to march down the field, still with 2 timeouts left, to possibly tie this game and send it in overtime.
So 42-34. St. John's with the 8-point lead. 45 seconds left. Boehm on the kick. It's interesting that they're kicking from the left hash to the left side here. I don't know that I've ever seen that. You usually want to give your kicker longer to get that big bounce. And a great catch. Not sure the number on that, but that was a great catch on the play by Desira, and that's his second recovery of an onside kick. And St. John's has to get a first down here, and it's game over.
Yeah, that's not a bad kick. That's the kind of kick you usually can get some tough bounces on, but great job by the hands team there. They come up with the football, and right now they may have to knee it 3 times as Westerville South does have a couple timeouts remaining. But what a performance again here by St. John's tonight. But they've had to earn it as Westerville South took them the distance before coming up just short here of a 42-34 contest here this evening.
So first kneel here from Lichtenberg, and Westerville South takes the timeout. We'll see that one more time, and then St. John's will be able to run off the rest of the clock. Oh no, I'm sorry, they're winding the clock, and Westerville South's going to keep those in their pocket. So it looks like the clock's going to tick down. 42-34, St. John's with the win over Westerville South, and this was a great win for St. John's, especially with the fight that Westerville South put up.
That really was. They knew coming in this was going to probably be a 1-score game, and nobody was disappointed. But I just think the fact they got out of the gate so well, they did so many things. We talked about, could their defense stop the run? Well, they showed everybody they could. They came out, got a 3-and-out on the second possession. They got the pick 6 from Gary Batch, and then the offense really kind of started clicking, and then the defense came up numerous times where they turned the ball over. They gave Westerville South a short field, but the defense continued to rise to the occasion. They come out on top of a hard-fought game, 42-34 here tonight at St. John's.
So Brady Lichtenberg with 4 touchdowns throwing the ball. Mistopoulos with 3 touchdowns, including the 102-yard pick 6 that really was the backbreaker and ended up being the difference. So that'll be the end of the first round here. St. John's with the big victory. They'll await the winner of Toledo Central Catholic St. Francis de Sales. So from Leiden Field, your final score, 42-34, St. John's Jesuit over Westerville South. I'm Isaiah Kiefer. For my partner, Scoop Miller, we're signing off. Have a great night, everyone.